Hello, Mr. President. Well done,
Yeah,
sir.
thank
And
you, brother.
everyone.
Happy to know you're around.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank,
sir.
thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah,
Dr.
thank you.
Jacob, good to know you're in the house already. Ahmed, Umaru, Alpha, welcome on board. Bernice, you've been around all these days. Catherine, Gustavo, welcome on board.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Excellent. Medine, you're welcome. Usman, Ahmad, Musbahu, you are here again today. Happy to have you. Nimlin,
Good
Acing,
job, Mr. President.
excellent, excellent. Welcome. Thank you very much. Richard Chijoke, great job you've been doing. You've been around all these days and wishing you the best. Tabitha, Victoria, Isabayo, welcome on board. Great.
Okay. Can we start or do we wait? Hello?
Okay. Yeah,
Can you
you're
hear me?
moderator for today.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you decide, but maybe a few more minutes. But I think some minutes have passed already. Been 5 minutes already.
Yeah, yes, it is. And we have up to 27 person present, so 28. I think the number will just keep coming up. So maybe we'll just start.
Yeah.
So they meet the main part of the presentation, which is the talk by our distinguished speakers. So
Right.
Yeah.
All the best. Byron.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. So today is the day 4 of our 2024-2025 OMG OAAD webinar, and is the last day for this webinar. So I would like to officially welcome everyone on board. My name is Mbechidema Chiamaka Linda, and I am your moderator for today. I am also the OAAD Global Financial Secretary and also the OMG OAAD General Coordinator. So I would like to introduce us to what OAAD is, what OMG is, and who we are and why you are here with us. To start up with, OAAD actually has a mission, and our main mission is to doctor solution for Africa and the world. And our vision as an organization is to enhance the quality of life in Africa through research, through technology, and also innovation. And in doing this, we bear in mind our main and core objective, which is to bring African intellectuals together and foster development while engaging with relevant internal and external stakeholders. So basically, OAAD is a home, is a family for everyone. And we are all encouraged to be a part of it, to also get other Africans who we know that are bright intellectuals to be a part of it. And even if they are not so good now, OAD is a place to learn, is a place to groom. So please do well to reach out to your friends or maybe neighbors, as our president will call it, to join OAAD. It's a place to be and is a home. Also, I would also like to introduce to us the OAAD OMG. OMG is OAAD Masters Grooming Initiative. So what do? We extend mentorship to people who are not yet qualified to join OAAD. So the major criteria to be a member of OAAD is: 1, you are either a PhD student; 2, you are a graduate, you're a doctorate graduate, like you already have your PhD. So these are the 2 major criteria to be a member of OAAD. Okay, nevertheless, you have to be an African. Yeah. So, but if you are not qualified to be in OAAD, OMG is also a place to be. So OMG consists of master's students or persons who have just completed their master's, who are waiting to maybe get admission or scholarship in order to foster through with their PhD study. So what we do in OMG is we have training, we have academic mentorship, of which we are able to enlighten and to teach, train, and educate these master students who are trying to work towards the path of attaining a PhD on how to go about academic writing, professional writing, and all the likes. Just like this webinar we are having today is one of the programs. OAAD is one of the services we offer in OMG through our great body of OAAD. So I would also encourage, we'll tell people to join. So in OMG, we have major groups which encompass from environmental, engineering, computer science, humanities, and the likes. So please do well to tell a friend, OAAD, OMG is a place to be. So with this, moving on with what we have for today is our distinguished speakers. Like I can't even but emphasize, these are very distinguished individuals who will be taking us through on the A to Z on postgraduate admission in Australia, and also how to prepare towards a postdoc in the future. We will start by having the opening remark by our very own, the Vice President of OAAD Western Africa, in person of Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon, please, you have the floor. Hello, sir.
Yes, hello. Okay. And hello, everyone. And if you are joining from anywhere, you are welcome. We welcome you to this OAAD OMG webinar. Feel free, and once you are from Africa and feel at home, and this is your home away from home, and we hope you make maximum use of this opportunity. Today is day 4, and we have been through day 1, 2, 3, and today is 4. So we still have more to come. And we will be glad to know that you people are following and not in vain. Meaning you people will share this with other members of the family or friends so that we can all grow together to make Africa a place to be. Thank you for joining, and you are welcome.
It's a great pleasure to have you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful and wholesome opening remark. So moving on, I would like to introduce to us our speaker for the first session of today. Please, can we mute? Thank you. So I would like to introduce the person of Mr. Favor. Oh, there's a mistake in his name. This is V. Mr. Favor Oluwapelumi Oyelami is a researcher whose interest lies in applying genomics to human health, especially those of African descent. Resolute to his goal, he seeks to contribute to the delivery of precision medicine for Africans. Mr. Favor, who holds a Master's of Statistical Genomics and Bioinformatics degree certificate from Shanghai Shantung University, China, is currently a PhD student at Australian National University. He won the Shanghai Shanton University Scholarship Award for his MSc degree. And the Australian National University Scholarship, Mr. Favour has affiliation to the following bodies. So his affiliation ranges from the NBL Australian the Laboratory Network at the Australian National University. He also has an affiliation with the Center of Computational Biomedical Sciences at same university, Australian National University, and also is affiliated to the Center for RNA Innovation in that same institution. So without any further ado, looking at this very great profile, I would encourage us to get our pen and pencil ready, get your paper ready, jot down your questions, and he will gladly answer your questions at the end of his presentation. Please do well to check the chat panel with time so that you can keep up with updates I'll be posting at that end. Thank you all. Mr. Favour, please, you have the floor. Thank you.
Good evening to everyone. It's such a great opportunity to be here. Is my network okay?
Sure, yes, we
Yes,
can hear you clearly, and you can
Okay,
share your screen too.
that's great. Yeah, so if at any point you can't hear me, just chat me, just send me a message, and then I will switch to the internet. I'm currently somewhere where I'm not so sure of the Wi-Fi, so I've been like on and off.
Okay, no
But
problem.
I've had to roam. Yeah. So it's like I said, it's such a great opportunity to be here this evening, right? And how many minutes do I have? I think
You have
is it
about
16 then?
30 minutes, but it will
Okay,
enjoy
perfect.
you. I think our dear participants might even stay to hear you more. So yeah.
So the question is within that 30 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this thing. Yeah, I think this is probably maybe like the first main like the first time I would really be like interested in talking about Australian scholarship. So I hope that I'll be able to pass across some information that might be useful to us. And as much as possible, I'll try because I know we've been having training about applying for graduate studies from um, other great guys from different schools. So I wouldn't try to like dwell so much on some of the basic stuff for applying for graduate study. And then I would try to talk more about maybe some of those things that are peculiar to like Australia, drawing from my own personal experience. So if you have any question, just jot that down. I would love to like answer any question from um, every one of us. So let's just quickly go into what I've prepared for today. I need to share this screen.
You can share your screen.
I think
You can share your screen.
it says post disabled participation. So maybe
Okay, you can share your screen.
I
just
might
enable
have
the share.
made that
Yes. You can share your screen now.
Okay, now it's working. Perfect. Okay.
Thank
So I'll be talking about the A to Z on the postgraduate admission application. And like you've been told I'm Favor and I'm a PhD student at the Computational Renewability Group at John Curtin School of Medical Research, among other affiliations, paper. And I do see that
Hello, sir. Sorry for interrupting. We can hear you clearly. I had messaged him already. He will try using another network.
Look like I lost the connection again, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I've switched away from the Wi-Fi. Sorry for this mess. I'm actually outside Australia at the moment. So yeah, I'm in Canada for a conference and research visit. So I'm just staying in this hotel that I don't understand what is happening with the Wi-Fi. So I've had to just roam with my mobile internet. Hopefully it's gonna last us for the next 30 minutes. So, but everything is good now, right?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, perfect. So we just do this. So I said we're just going to start with the normal conceptual, normal idea about Australia. Everyone always talk about Australia being the end of the world, and I want to ask someone, just one or two people, what other misconception or what other things do you hear people say about Australia? One person, like apart from it being the end of the world, what other thing? Mr. Richard, just a quick one, please.
Kangaroos.
Kangaroos. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Well, we can't deny that. We can't deny that. We can't deny that. Is there someone else that wants to mention something, please?
Yeah, it's a small magical country.
A small magical country. That's amazing. That's a good one. Yeah. So, because I still
a
speak to
unique
people.
wildlife.
Yeah.
Australia has a unique wildlife.
Yeah, like everywhere you go, everything wants to kill you, right? So, so people do say that like it's like everything just want to kill you. You've got snakes, you've got spider, you've got bees, And I'd say because most of the people that listen to me today are probably in China. So now, before you came to China, you know what you were hearing about China, right? You didn't even know that China was that beautiful. You didn't know they have some good infrastructure like that because the way the media portray the country, or maybe those things they don't go out of the country. So sometimes I remember me being told that, oh, they eat human flesh and this and that. Do you get what I mean? Everyone is entitled to their opinion. So when people say Australia, everything wants to kill you. Personally, I haven't actually encountered any snakes since I've been here for the last 2.5 years. You understand? Kangaroos, yeah, those are normal stuff. But I haven't had encounter with snakes. I haven't had encounter with spider. So maybe it depends on where you go, but it's not something that just happen like every day. So what do you want? So that's the main thing. Does those things matter? Like the distance, you're already in China. So China is also very far from Nigeria or from Africa in general. So does that really matter if it's at the end of the world, or if they've got a lot of kangaroos, or if they got a lot of snakes, which is not always true, especially with the snake, it's not everywhere. And one thing that I personally think I noticed, I might be wrong, is that um, you know, on social media, on social media, you see a lot of people, come talking about the opportunities in Canada, a lot of people in the US, a lot of people, which other country, Europe, and most of the time, the guys in Australia don't really, I don't want to assume, don't really make noise. Like they don't really talk too much. Do you understand? And personally, I think that the reason is because one, people are busy with study, people are busy with work because of the opportunity for you to earn extra income, without, especially for research students, without any hourly limit. So people are like cashing out and they are doing their PhD. So they don't have too much time for, for to talk too much and, all those things. So we go to the main thing. And like someone said, Australia is also like a small magical country. They don't have all the probably the whole population is just a little above Lagos, Nigeria, but they are quite powerful and there's quite a lot of opportunities there. So, okay, I've already mentioned some of the reasons why you might want to consider Australia. And like I mentioned, it's a small magical country, like someone mentioned too. It's got this relaxed lifestyle. I also did my master's in China, and I know how it was like me leaving the lab almost 10 p.m. like every day. Do you understand the pressure, the publication requirements, even for master's research, not to talk of PhD research. So coming here to Australia, one thing that I noticed was that, oh, these guys are actually relaxed. Like there's pressure. There's going to be pressure at some point too, but it's not as it is in China. That's for fact. Sometimes people start work, like if you're doing your PhD research, it's more like you're working, right? Some people start very early, even in a normal working setting. Some people could start their work at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and finish early. So if it's like 8 hours of work per day, some people start very early, maybe 7 o'clock, and they leave by 2 or by 3. Do you understand what I mean? So it's not like you have to be there from morning to like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Nah. So it's a bit more relaxed. And I think I've also heard from people from Europe, someone from France who came to my lab, who said it's a bit more relaxed even than France. So these are the things that you want to consider. And also the closeness to nature. You've got the wildlife there. You've got arrays of, beaches that you can go to. If you want to wind down, you can just, if you're in Canberra, you just drive 2 hours to, to some beaches there, and then you have nice time. You come back, you're refreshed. You've got Brisbane there. You've got Perth there. So there are so many places where you can relax and be close to nature. And also the most important thing, which is for me, is the good weather. Because I think at some point when I was in China, I was trying to like apply. I was really focusing on mostly maybe Canada, but I really didn't like the cold. I really don't really like too much cold. So in my mind, I was praying to God. I wanted somewhere where the weather is a bit better, but I wasn't really focusing too much on Australia because I felt like the requirement and some of those things. But I'm just glad I got that opportunity because where I am is probably one of the coldest places in Australia. Canberra, that's the capital territory, and the lowest I've probably experienced is like -6. So it doesn't snow every time. It doesn't really snow like that. You have some ice on your stuff and so on. You could have snow in some other neighboring cities, but it's not like Canada where it snows everywhere, but it could be cold. Brisbane sometimes could be cold as low as maybe 10 degree or 13 degree. That place is more humid. It's more like Africa. And so they have different weather variety. So it's not as cold as Canada in short. So, and another important thing is, like I've had interaction with people, and personally, like one thing I confirm is that they don't pay well here. Do you understand? I know people talk about going to maybe when you get to some certain stage of your career, you could aim more. But imagine PhD student being paid maybe 20 something Canadian dollar per year. So it means that you might be struggling surviving. But I've just learned that they've increased it to like 40K. They've not started paying that out, but I think it's something that's in the pipeline, maybe the final pipeline, and then postdoc 70K. The lab where I'm currently doing the research visit, the postdoc there gets about 40K Canadian dollar per year before tax. So if you're getting some 40K Canadian dollar before tax, then after tax, how much are you going to get? Maybe 30 something K. That's not enough to survive. Now, if you have a family, that's going to be a whole lot of stuff to deal with, especially if you don't have some other side hustles or some other things you do. Meanwhile, in Australia, I think when I started about 12.5 years ago, it was like 27, 26K per year. then it went to currently about 36, 37K per year. And there are some other scholarships that are like 40, 42, 45K per year. So, which is for students, but for postdoc, it's mostly range from like 90 something K per year, 100K per year, depending on your level of experience. But entry level, most times around 90 to 100K per year. I've heard of people that got into industry after their PhD and they start earning like 130K per year. I was just speaking with someone. I was telling someone like, see, even without a PhD, with a casual job, people are earning 100K AUD per year. They are normal 150K. People are earning 150K. There are people that are earning 200K from just doing disability support work. Do you understand? Some of these opportunities we don't have in China, and even in Canada, it's a bit restricted to to get those opportunities quite restricted. So they don't have the opportunity like we do in Australia. So these are the things you want to consider. Like it's like a land flowing with milk and honey. That if you get the opportunity, I'm telling you, you're gonna be so thankful for the rest of your life. So I'll stop at that. So why research degree scholarship? Why is it that research degree scholarships are more common? Why are they more common in Australia? Why is it that okay, if I want to do a coursework, I can't really find scholarships to do a coursework, and then most of the scholarships are for masters by research or PhD by research. One, it's because of the Australian government, they are more committed to supporting research and development, and most of the universities are, they have a very strong research focus, and most of the funding they try to channel it to that. And don't forget that education is one of the major exports for Australia. So that's why most times for the coursework, people don't get the full scholarship because that's how they make their money. So people get like 20% off, and they still have to pay a lot. So, but for most of the funding, it's usually for research. Probably more funding for PhD research than master's research. So these are the things that we need to put in mind. And also because of some of this funding that are available, some of them are linked to like government industries or industrial partner. So you understand why. And some of the benefits of this research degree scholarship is that it funds your tuition fee, your living expenses, and your research costs. So like definitely in China, you have some of these things covered, but in Africa, we mostly don't have this research cost covered. So you have access to world-class research facilities and expertise. You have, for example, if you're doing something like in my field, like it's just like you have in Europe and in America. I'm working on computational stuff on bioinformatics. So I deal with more of data analysis. So it means I don't have to spend most of my time doing the wet lab. I don't have to be in a lab to do the wet lab stuff. There is like a lab assistant or lab technician that is responsible for that. Meanwhile, in China, most times, even if you are doing computational stuff, you might be the one to do this to do the wet lab stuff, send the data for sequencing, and then after sequencing, then you have to deal with the analysis. So it's not like that in all countries. So in Australia too, it's not like that. You are not the one to do the experiment and then you do the analysis, you did the computational stuff. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. So they have those structures that are similar as you would have in America and so on. So also you have opportunity to collaborate with leading researchers in various institutions, even outside Australia. And I think that's one thing that they try to really encourage people to do. That's why you're being funded to go for conference so that you can have collaboration. Right now, my visit here to Canada is actually funded because I had there were like funding opportunity that I had opportunity to like apply to, and then I got those things. So it's like you portraying your school outside, showing that okay, this school is a good school, and so on. So you have that funding opportunity, and there are actually the various funding. Apart from your normal stipend, you have the Cicero top of scholarship. You have various funding opportunity to go for programs, and most importantly for like PhD students for my school, and I think quite a lot of schools, they always have this fund for you when you start your program. For example, for my school, they have this 5,000 AUD, Australian dollars, for you. Like during your PhD program, this is for you. It's for you to attend conferences, or for example, you want to go for a local conference, you can apply and then ask for a reimbursement or use the university card to pay for it from that $5,000. Sometimes you can use it to buy laptop. In my own case, I bought a MacBook, my computational stuff, spent like 2007, and then I got the money from the $5,000. Do you understand? And I've gone, like last year I was in Singapore for a conference. Some of this money too, I used it apart from the normal funding from my supervisor. So my supervisor paid for like my flight and so on. So you have all this like funding, all this opportunity. They just want to see you advance. That's the thing. Once you have a very good supervisor, a supportive supervisor, you can be sure that you're going to have that support. You're going to have that funding to help you. So what are the available scholarships? There are actually like quite a lot of scholarships. And at the end of this this talk, I'm gonna like give you a link that you might search. But like I said, I don't want to focus too much on the things you can actually see online yourself. So there is this Australian government research training program, which covers for your school fee and your stipend. So the unique thing about Australia is that most times it's more like, okay, there is school fee that you have to deal with, right? And then there's stipend for you to live daily. So you need funding for your school fee, you need funding for your stipend. So for this Australian government research stuff, it covers your school fee, whether 40K per year. In my home case, it's like 53,000 AUD per year. There's no way I'm going to be able to make money to pay that kind of fee. There's no way. So school fee is already rounding up to like 200 and something AUD for the whole program. So that's school fee. Then there's like stipend for you to be able to live. So like this AGRCP covers both of these things, but I think it's more for permanent residents or residents and citizens, but you can confirm because I never really applied for that. So, and also there is one where mostly maybe for masters, that after the program you're required to actually go back to your country. So I want to note that you have to check the requirement of the scholarship that you're trying to apply to, depending on what you want. Do you want to go back immediately after your program back to Africa for 2 years? Is there going to be an opportunity for you there during that 2 years? Do you understand? So know the requirement of that scholarship you're trying to apply for, or to, before you apply. So for me, I was so sure of what I wanted while I was in China. I didn't want a scholarship or a funding where I'll be really competing with so many people. I didn't want that. Do you understand? I didn't want that kind of stuff where they will interview me and then I'll wait for 2 months before I move to the next stage. And then after the next stage, I will now wait. I just wanted to secure a supervisor and be sure that, okay, since I already have a supervisor, I have like 80% chance of getting the scholarship. That's what I wanted. Although it took a while, sincerely it took a while because I actually waited like a year after my program, not because of the Australian scholarship, definitely. There are many other things. But I was working for that 1 year and I waited and I was able to get that yes, that actually put a smile on my face till now. So the second scholarship that I would love to talk about is what is probably mostly common, is what they call the higher degree by research fee remission scholarship, plus other stipend source that can cover for your living expenses. So if you check most of the Australian universities and you check for their master's research or most importantly, maybe PhD research scholarship, you'd see what they call this higher degree by research. So we, the cohorts of PhD research students, or let's say master's research student, like research student, we are called like higher degree by research, meaning we are not coursework, we are not just doing coursework, we are doing research. So sometimes there's training for higher degree by research students. There's like different plans for higher degree by research students. Okay, after your program, what are the opportunities for you? They try to train you specifically for the outside world. So there's that program where they have that fee remission scholarship. Most times this scholarship is covered by the university. They pay for your tuition. Like my scholarship, I would split it into two. So I wouldn't like say, okay, this is the scholarship for my PhD program. I would actually split it into two, which is the higher degree by research fee remission scholarship, and then the John Cotton School of Medical Research scholarship. The higher degree by research scholarship actually covers my tuition fee, and John Curtis School of Medical Research scholarship takes care of my stipend. So some people like that. This is my own, like my home school of school. You know, my university is Australian National University, but my college, my school, John Curtin, is under the College of Health and whatever they call it. So what that implies is that most of all my project is mostly within my school. I'm not doing projects like really collaborating or going or having a supervisor in the School of Engineering or a supervisor in the School of Arts. Do you understand? Because I'm restricted within my school. They are the one covering my stipend. But I know other people that they have their degree by fee remission scholarship and university stipend. So with that university stipend, they can decide. In fact, if they have issue and they are working in the school, medical research stuff, and they have issue with their program, they can decide to move to a school of computing, and nothing is going to be affected because the university is the one covering their scholarship. So they can move within any faculty or department within the university. But if I was to move to another department and forsake my own school, my own medical school, then it might be an issue because my medical school is the one covering stipend. I don't know if that makes sense. So these are the things I'm just trying to like point out. So most times the fee remission scholarship cover your tuition fee for 4 years straight, which so it means you have to finish your PhD within 4 years. If you don't finish, I think they have a way of covering for some months, and after then they might cover maybe 50%, and then you have to pay the rest and all those things. But the main thing is that you have to finish on time. So most programs are within 2.5 to 4 years. I've heard of people that finish their PhD in 2.5 years. Yes, they're just full on it. So mostly you want to target 3 years for your program, and at most 3.5 years. So most of the stipend that covers like 3 years initially. So tuition fee covered for 4 years, for stipend, not for 4 years most times. So it's like 3 years, and then you can apply for extension for 6 months, which is usually like a guaranteed thing. You can always get that extension. But my program is ending very soon, and I have to apply for extension. It's a normal thing. Do you understand? So these are the things you need to know. So if you are trying to get scholarship, search for higher degree by research scholarship, look at the requirement. Most times they will ask you to secure a supervisor. That's where you now start building, supervisors. And once you have one that is ready to support you, they are not the one actually paying for this thing. Do you understand? When I reached out to my supervisor, I was like, okay, the stuff is competitive. In case you don't get it, do you have funding to cover for it? Like, I don't have funding to cover for that, but I want to apply for this scholarship, and I want to apply for this scholarship, and I was hoping that you could support my application. That's all. So you're not paying for my school fee, you're not paying for my stipend, you're supporting my application. Do you understand? So that's the main thing. But you need that support from him. Do you get it? There are other stuff where, okay, maybe the supervisor sees that, oh, this person is really someone I need for this project. I have this grant and I need someone to execute this project. It doesn't matter if you don't get a scholarship. I'm going to fund you for my research project. I've got like $1 million for this research project. I'm going to pay for your tuition. But it's not common. Let me be very sincere. So imagine if you got $1 million grant for 2 years or 3 years, if you've got $1 million grant for 2 years or 3 years, like, and out of that you have to spend, let's say, 200K for school fee, about 120K for stipend for the 4 years at least. So that's like 320K for just one PhD student. Do you get it? Or let's say 400K. That's a lot. Out of 1 million, you still have to buy equipment. You still have to do some other things with that funding. So it's not always common that supervisors will say, okay, I'm going to fund you. Don't worry. I think that happens a lot in Canada, especially if they've got industrial stuff. But in Australia, I think it's not always common. But if there's like an industrial PhD, then it might be a bit different because it's the industry that actually funding and not really so much of a supervisor. So just understand the dynamics of this thing, and I think it's going to like inform you. It's going to help to make the better decision. So, okay. like I said, I would not repeat this. I already mentioned it, that some of them require you to go back home after your studies. So you want to know, the goal is for you to be able to have, after your PhD, you can stay back. That's the truth. You can stay back to use that skill, or balance yourself to be able to better, people from Africa where you're coming from. So if you go back home and you're stuck there, how do you want to change things over there? Okay. So also most importantly is that most of the scholarship covers paid leave. Like you've got like 1 month paid leave per year. Most of them. It's unlike China, you don't get leave, you don't talk about leave. So you've got 1 month paid leave. Last year I was in Nigeria for like a month. I was still being paid. That's my 1 month paid leave. Like right now I'm here for university stuff. I'm still gonna like have like a week of my personal break, and I'm still gonna get paid. Do you get it? So imagine you be on traveling the world for 1 month and you're still getting paid for stipend. So which is really cool. Then after your thesis, you still get reimbursed for your thesis allowance, the cost of your thesis. I think about $500 or so at least for printing or whatever cost your thesis might have incurred. There's also this parental leave. There's like paternity leave. I think you get paid maybe 3 months. I'm not certain, maybe 3 months or 6 months, but it's like parental leave. And also insurance. Insurance is very important. You have to pay insurance. Most of the scholarship might not cover the insurance. Some of them, insurance might be for one person, for a single person might be like 30K per year. I'm not sorry, for the whole program, 30K AUD, some might be 4K, depends. But the thing is that you don't focus too much on that. Once you get your admission, you don't have to really discuss with your supervisor or potential supervisor. Once you have your admission, you have your funding, then you can discuss that. That was what I did, because when I saw that I was supposed to pay that money, I was working out to get money for house and flights, not scholarship. So I had to tell my supervisor that I can't really afford that. It's too much for me. And he was like, "Oh, he understands." And then he paid from his grants. So it was easy. You understand what I mean? So I've had someone that recently started to, which I also suggested that to him. He's also actually coming with his wife, and then he told his supervisor, and he was able to get that covered. So some of the funding cover insurance, some of them don't cover, but you can ask your supervisor if they are willing to help you. So let's talk about the application window and the deadlines. Mostly Australia has like 2 windows for international students, which is really cool. It means that if you miss one window, you can always fall back on the second window. So at the 31st of each March, it's 31st of March each year, there's a window of application to start. It means if you want to apply for that round, you have to get a supervisor before that time and then apply when it opens, and the deadline is 31st of August. For my own case, I think I made my supervisor around July to get a reply. After some days, I sent a reminder email, and then he responded in August. So immediately responded, it was just back to back, research proposal, this and that. And then we submitted, I think I submitted August 27 or 28, bam. So before the deadline, 31st. So there's another round, which after that 31st deadline, another round starts at that 31st, and then it closes on the 15th of April the following year. So it means that you can always plan. You have like a 1 year window to really plan. If this one does not work out in this window, then you go for another window. That's really, really cool. That's really, really cool. So just note that. So what are the essential requirements for securing a master's by research or PhD by research, admission, and scholarship? I'll just quickly run through this in like 5 minutes because I think I've taken a lot of time. One is your work experience and blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Okay. So your work experience, this is actually required, to evaluate your research development skills, because you need to understand that there's nobody that is going to give you free money. Yeah, all this stuff is good, it feels really good, but you need to think from the perspective of those that wants to hire you. And please take note of what I'm about to say. Every researcher, every supervisor is selfish. You yourself, if you're a supervisor, you will be selfish. Everyone wants the best for themselves. They want the best for the lab. They want someone that will come, deliver the job. The person might struggle a bit at first, but learn those things and then start delivering the job. So you need to have that perspective. Do you understand that nobody's really offering you that free stuff? So you have to make yourself competitive. So this work experience is to evaluate your research development skill. It could be a research assistantship, it could be an internship. What mistake people make is that because they are waiting means that they just stay, with their hands up, not doing anything, just waiting for that opportunity. While you're waiting, what are you doing? What you're doing while waiting is more important than just the waiting. It's not just about waiting. What are you doing during the waiting? There are a lot of virtual internship that you can do right now that can equip you. I remember I was working in China then, but I wasn't really able to really pursue my admission because there was so much workload with my workplace. But immediately I had that break that I could work virtually, man, I was just pursuing it. I registered for like Hackbao, like a computational internship stuff. I got kicked out of the internship though, because I didn't have time. I was applying for my PhD stuff that time. But I used a recommendation letter from them. Do you understand? And I already put that stuff in my CV that I'm working on this scholarship. I got this scholarship on this. It's just about packaging, but I put it there because I know it's gonna hit me something. It's gonna hit me like a mark. So research assistantship, internship, and all those things, they hard point to your ranking. Do you understand? Don't just sit there. Some of these scholarship stuff are ranking based. So very important. Strong academic background, maybe you've done some research publication. Please, publication is actually like very, very important. At least try to have at least one. If you don't have that industrial experience, years of industrial experience, then you really, really need publication and a very good CGPA, of course. And then you must be able to show some sort of significant project management. And these are the things they try to evaluate from these things. Your excellent research skills, like I said, your publication. During my time, apart from my publication, I actually sent in my master's thesis for them to review. So they were like committee that actually reviewed my master thesis so that it can add points to my stuff. So I'm going to show you like a snippet of the mail that I got for my pre-assessment that it says, okay, this is the pre-assessment, but if this guy can actually send in his thesis for evaluation, it could add more to his stuff. Do you get what I mean? So if you're doing your thesis in your master's, make sure you do a very good thesis. Make sure you do that with this in mind. So also, like I said, publication is to show that this guy is actually good with analysis and at least he knows how to, the critical thinking is there, right? Then research proposal. For these, I know people write research proposals sent to potential supervisors. Some of them didn't reply. Some of them will even use their research proposal to develop their idea and they steal their idea like that. But I would say it's not everyone that really, really require that research proposal for Australia. Do you understand? Especially if it's like an advertised position, it's already advertised position. They want someone that can work in this field. They want someone that can do this project. Are you interested? Okay, mail me. So you don't have to really write proposal for that. For me, I didn't write a proposal for my supervisor. Some people require to write a one-page proposal. I didn't write. I just mailed him that, okay, I saw your profile. I love this and this, and I would love to work in this area. And that was it. So, and by the time we had an interview, like a kind of informal talk, it was like, okay, this and this and this. And then he sent me a proposal that he wrote. But he sent me like 2 grants that he wrote that I cannot use it to develop a proposal. And then I developed a proposal around that area. But then that was just for admission. By the time I started my PhD, we changed everything. Everything, we just put it to one side. Once you have a supervisor that wants you, that's all. So it's not a matter of, okay, you already have this proposal, you have to follow through to your 3 or 4 years of program. No, sometimes it's not like that. So just put that in mind. Okay, English proficiency. This is really, really very important. I have to say, till now, I've never written any English proficiency exam. God has just helped me to find a way to really escape this thing, but I still have to write it. But quite a lot of schools require English proficiency if you're applying for admission. Some may not require when you're applying for admission, but before they give you your COE, the letter for you to apply for your visa, they will require that IELTS. So you want to prepare your mind. So if they don't require, sometimes immigration do require, but immigration did not require anything. I just submitted English proficiency letter. By the time I was doing it, they said I think the one from undergraduate was probably that's past the 5 years. So I had to request for another one from my school, Shanghai Jiao University, even though it's a Chinese school. So I got that letter, I submitted, and that was all. So I wasn't asked for anything. They said, okay, I already met it. And that was all. But I've seen few people, like I know of 2 or 3 that they've had to actually write that thing. Recommendation letter, you know, this is very key. This is very, very key. How the format of this recommendation letter, for you that you're in China, you know you have the opportunity sometime to write a draft to send to your supervisor that you can use. So you want to make sure that the drafts, you sell yourself well. Do you understand? I would always recommend the American admission reference type, not just one page. No, like something that talks about you, your personality, your commitment to work with examples. Do you get what I mean? With examples. So it shows that the person knows you very well. And you have to be very careful of who to use. Do you trust this person to write you a recommendation or not? Because I know someone from my lab that I just used, and by the time the whole stuff went, my supervisor I definitely sent me the application, and I saw that this person did not even mark me like 4 points, like 4 points in all this ranking, just gave me 2 year. Ha! Say thank God that the writing that we wrote for the recommendation, like it was at least okay, If not, it would have been something else. But my other recommenders, they did me well. So you have to be very careful. Then most of the time, this thing actually takes time. Please just keep at it. 1 year is all you need, sincerely. I finished my master's from Jatong University in 2020. I didn't get a yes. I think I finished around August. I didn't get a yes until like August 2021. That's not your own. I don't pray that that's going to be your own stuff. My own part was different because I wasn't even planning to work in China. So then I got a job after. Then I was able to like work while I wait. So just 1 year is all you need. Lastly, I will just talk about this point based. When I reached out to my supervisor, he reached out to the HDR coordinator for my school, and then they did a pre-assessment and they copied me there. So just so you know, and there's quite limited funding recently. So they are trying to, even in fact, my school now, they're trying to match them with another, like the Faculty of Biology or Department of Biology, to reduce the funding because there isn't much funding. They are becoming strict even with visa, with people coming to study coursework. So you need to know that it's very, very competitive. So my research potential, they did that, I think, with the thesis that was evaluated, they used that. Then my publication, I had like 2 first author paper by the time I was applying, I had like maybe 3, 4 other quarter. You can have this opportunity by actually collaborating with other lab members in your lab. So I probably had like 4, 5 papers by the time I was applying. More than 4. Yeah. Then other things like your work experience, the carry points, your publication. Are you the first author? What's your contribution? Because I think there was a place where I was told to put, okay, what's your contribution to this thing? Were you just involved in documentation? Were you just involved in this? What are the prizes or awards? So all these things, please don't underestimate yourself. Put everything here. They count. Everything counts. So this is something I said I was going to show. This is from the HDR office that time in my school. It says the transcript provided from the University appears to be complete this and this and this. All this, I'll just go to this. As there is no mention of the thesis on the transcript, we would have to use the first author publication as this and this and this. A baseline mark of 8.0 for research potential. If the student can provide a copy of this. So I'm giving you insider info to let you know that all these counts and it gives you points. It's not just applying. How are you going to be competitive? Your CV, everything. So my final word is this. So don't be too emotional with your application. Don't be too emotional. Like I mentioned, every researcher is selfish. Everyone. So because you like this research, you like this university, you love this pinnacle, and then you just apply for one. Please, I don't want you to cry. I learned the hard way. Do you understand what I mean? Once I focus on one, I just focus on one. And I already spoke to this person. I had someone that I spoke with 2 times. She really wanted me, but I think things were beyond control for her. She had to move to another school, but she didn't tell me. She was not replying to my email. Do you get what I mean? So if you are trying to apply, mail as much as possible. If they give you yes, still continue, apply. If you apply for 5 schools, apply for 5 schools. If you get 5 schools, get 5 scholarship, and then decide on which one you want. Do you understand? Don't be too emotional. Apply for as many as you can in your field of interest. Then explore multiple options in different countries. With everything that I've said, if you do them very well, you can also apply this to some other countries. Then most importantly, prayer, patience. Even if it's not coming, it doesn't mean that not something is wrong with you. I had a lot of papers by the time I was finishing my master's, and I didn't get opportunity. I kept on following Mr. Aaron, Meanwhile, you might know some of them on Twitter. I was tweaking my email. Okay, I will take from them again. I know this thing, but maybe my own style is not working. I take from them, I tweak again. Just adjusting, just adjusting, just adjusting. Keep all working while waiting. So, and try to prevent study gap. That's very, very important. Even if you're not researching right now, you're just doing casual job. Every one of us, we've had to do it. When I left China, I haven't started my program. I went to the Netherlands on a post-study work visa, with my Jaton stuff. I was working for like 2-3 months. My focus was casual job. I need money to be able to sustain myself when I start my program. But I make sure that I still have that link in my company and I'll still working with them by proxy so that I don't have that gap. So as much as possible, please try not to have study gap. Just try. Get involved in something. If it's just one project, let it keep going. And I think that would be so helpful. Thanks for listening. I will end on this note. If you have questions for me, I'll take it.
Thanks so much. That was a great presentation, so insightful. Yeah. So thank you. Please, can you stop sharing? We'll take the question together with that of Dr. Jacob so that's
okay, perfect. Yeah.
A whole lot of maybe repetition if we want to take it group by group. So
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Favor, for the presentation. Like so encompassing, so compressed, so rich. Yeah. So I'll be introducing our next speaker in person of Dr. Jacob. So he's an earlier career kind of scientist with a PhD in astrophysics from Yan'an Observatories of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, supported by the Castras Fellowship. I think there's something wrong with this PPT, so I will try to be fast about it. So, but currently is a postdoctoral fellow at the Institute of Astroparticle Physics of Southwest Shantung University in China. He also serves as a faculty member in the Department of Physics at Bamidele Oluminu University of Education, Science and Technology in Ikere-Ekiti, Nigeria. So Dr. Jacob is also very keen in research that cuts across the periodicity, association, and dependency among solar activity, features, and attributes. So notably, Dr. Jacob uses a variety of techniques to achieve his goal with the aim to create more precise kind of prediction techniques and statistical documentation for various solar activity and events. In long term, his research interest and goal evolve around addressing problems related to space weather upon atmosphere by incorporating the machine learning into astrophysical data analysis. So please, without any further ado, join me as I welcome our very own Dr. Jacob, a distinguished speaker who will be teaching us or preparing our mind on how to ace postdoc in the future. Thank you so much, sir. You have the floor. Hello, sir.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Jacob? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shidima, for having me. So very quickly, let me correct that. Is the name of my university in Nigeria is Bamidele Olumilua.
Olumilua. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the correction. Thank you.
So I want to share my screen.
Yes, sir, you have the floor. You can.
Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see your screen. You can just help us to enlarge. Thank you.
Is it okay?
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the organizer of this event, the OAAD, the president, the executives, and everyone, every member. It is a great pleasure to be invited here today. So without wasting time, I have very short presentation. So now we, in the next few minutes, we'll be looking at strategies for securing postdoctoral position. So there is no country in particular that I have in mind. I'll be talking generally. Please, I hope everybody can hear me clearly.
Yes, sir. You're very clear. The sound and everything is very clear. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So let me start with PhD itself. PhD is a research journey. In some cases, it turns to battlefield. And there are phases that we undergo when we undergo PhD training. So, and this battle is not similar. It is we have different experiences because we are not working on the same project. So different people, different challenges. From the time we are starting the PhD, probably after we've traveled out of our country. So the excitement stage of maybe getting to know a new country, and that, like our previous speaker said, I look at him, he was so excited. So it's a very good thing. So starting at the initial stage, it is very, very exciting. And as time goes on, when you arrive for the battle, then maybe when you start missing one element with the other, and you start seeing different things so all this make us to go through different phases. So let me just say we have up and downs. So through the time that we are down, using my own personal experience, so this time happened to be the time that I travel a lot, especially when I'm faced with some research difficulties. So I use this time to ride bicycle, like can be on bicycle for like 3 days from one village to the other and all that. So it's kind of exciting. Oh, excuse me, something is, I don't know, maybe it's from my side.
No,
Something is writing on my screen.
I think her name is Elizabeth. Please, you can stop using maybe your mouse or something on your screen. It's reflecting here. Please, Elizabeth, you can help us to delete this. You see something like a pen close to your Zoom. Click on it and you see the eraser. Help us to delete this from your end. Elizabeth, thank you. Sir, sorry, you can go on.
Dr. Jet, you can reshare your screen. So, okay, it's okay.
Okay, is it okay now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, it's okay now. I think she erased it.
Okay, so so what makes many of us to finish our PhD is the fact that at the end of the day, I will be called a doctor. So it's actually a good motivating thing for us that, oh, we have a vision. I am here to achieve this. I am here because of this. So this actually keep many people to finish to the last point. So so now our aim should be more than being called a PhD. Like, what do we want to do? What are my missions? What do I want to achieve? And this, because postdoc is not actually everybody that we want to undertake postdoc, because postdoc is actually a fast track when you want to go through academics. Well, if you are looking at working with industry full-time, then you might not necessarily need to undertake a postdoctoral position. So if you want to take postdoctoral position, then you have to start. And in the next slide, I will be just basic thing we need to do why if we are still on our PhD program. So the first thing, very important, is that we must get used to know our tools, what we use to carry out our research, what we use to analyze our data, everything that has to do with carrying out our own work and related field. It is very important we get to know them. This is very important, as postdoc actually is solidifying on what we've done during our PhD. So you can imagine if you are doing a postdoc, many PI, we actually want you to supervise most of his or our students, PhD and master student. And if you can't undo what you've used during your PhD, this is kind of it will put somebody in much stress. So it is very important you know your tools very well. Then meeting, workshop, conferences, while you are doing your PhD, every contact, every meeting, every opportunity you have because PhD actually offer platform for you to meet people in your own research field. So it is very important you meet people. And when you meet people, make sure you contact them, introduce yourself, ask them questions, especially in your own research interest area. And then ask thoughtful questions that are actually more that complement your work, such a way that your work, you can easily start a conversation for collaboration. So it is very important while you are doing your PhD, try as much as possible to attend professional conferences, meetings, and all that. Then reaching out. Of course, reaching out is very important and it must be very early. So I will talk more about this. Then maintaining good relationship. Let me just say, I was listening to sometimes, and it was making reference to hiring somebody who was very, very good and perfect in doing job for him. But he said he regretted it because this guy is good, but he has no, he mentioned like he doesn't have character, which should be most important thing for him. So having good relationship is very, very important. If you are doing your PhD today, make sure you are in good relationship with your supervisor, with your lab mates, with your supervisor, friends, colleagues, everyone. Why? Because some of them might be people who will offer you information, life-changing information after your PhD. And let me also quickly make this point. The number of paper you publish does not matter. The number of paper you publish during your PhD doesn't matter. Let me cite, I want to use myself as an example. When I finished my PhD, I only have 2 papers. And in 2018, that was just 2 years towards finishing my PhD. I finished my PhD in 2020. I already got postdoc. Somebody already said, can you visit Japan So my boss was there in the conference. What did he say? This professor saw the work I was working with, and he asked me, where do you want to publish this work? Because I presented that work. So where do you want to publish this work? I said, I want to publish it to paper, actually one of the top ranking journal. So eventually I published this paper. Eventually, when I finished my PhD, I only published just 2 papers. And only one was, I can say, was my taste. The second one, the second one wasn't really. But of course, after my PhD, I got a number of postdoctoral opportunity. Of course, you have to choose one. So, and I had just 2. So this is why I said, number of publications doesn't matter. Of course, there are also needs when it comes to national strategy. Like, for example, when if you are very conversant with news, you will know about tech competition between. So if you happen to fall in between what is causing competition in the sector, then getting a PhD will be much more easier, because it is actually in high demand. So maintaining good relationship is very good. Like I said, it is very important you start early before you even finish your PhD. No time, but by the time it is 6 months or a year before you finish your PhD, you should have at least 2 or 3, 4 people that you are chatting with, discussing collaboration, working with their together with them and all that. Please do this, because in the beginning I talk about PhD journey. So let me quickly point out something. This excitement stage is good to be excited if you are still, this information is for you if you are still doing your PhD. This excitement stage is for you. Please enjoy it very well. You can explore as much as possible, do what you want to do. Then in the second year, please put yourself under pressure. Now, in most cases, PhD supervisor does not put their student under pressure until maybe 3rd year, depending on the supervisor. But for you, put yourself under pressure by 2nd year. Have your target at least a year before. In fact, rewrite your plan, conclude your PhD on paper a year before. So you are actually working under pressure by yourself, and this will give you a fantastic result. So by the time you are writing thesis, when it is time for writing your thesis, submitting all sorts of things, you are also making move. In fact, you've already concluded plan on your postdoc. You've done this already. So this time, a year before your PhD, start looking at opportunities. I mean, there are many opportunities. Most of the journals, if you check, they also have the opportunity pages, and you can, because they advertise your own interest, because that is where you publish. I think I have some of those examples in this slide. So start reaching out. Then as a PhD student, as a PhD student, or somebody who is about to finish PhD, start applying for funding. I tried it during my own time, but I never succeeded. I never won any funding. It's just for academic purpose. So if you fail, you will be happy that you did it. Of course, the experience you have, by the time you will be writing maybe proposal or something, you will go to that folder and look at how you wrote it, and you will now improve on it. So this is what we call continuous improvement in application. So please, as early as possible, start. Then, like I said, applying for funding, then networking. So networking is part of attending workshops, conferences. And when you attend those conferences and workshops, it's not just about listening to what everybody is saying. Target your own research area. Then when you are listening to speaker, make sure you have a pen, because sometimes for me, I use phone. I have a kind of text on my phone, so I quickly write the points and write the journal, if the paper has been published, and quickly use one sentence to qualify how my work will complement this work, or how I'm going to improve this work. So you just write it down, because you might forget. Why? Because we think about many things. When I was doing my PhD, I wasn't married. So now I'm married, and I have so many things to do after academic work. So some of my colleagues were already married when we were doing PhD, and I believe many of us as well. So it is very normal for us to forget some things, because we are human beings, we are not AI. So we make sure you write how your work can complement this person. And when you look at it, you can contact the person after the talk. Ask thoughtful questions, especially from your own research interest, such a way that him might not necessarily know exactly what what your work is doing, but that will catch his attention, because you actually ask him questions from his own work, but to complement from your own research interest. So this kind of talk, this kind of chat after presentation actually create a kind of how do I call it? A kind of remembrance that the person cannot forget. And in most cases, you will have contact together. Then please, once you have contact with someone, there is a reason why many people, after you've discussed so many times, they will not share their contact. But there is a reason why people who share their contact with you, there's a reason why they share their contact. I remember in one of the conferences I attended, the professor did not talk, he did not say anything. We met here, he came from Japan as well. So he gave me his contact. Then after 2 years, he sent me an email. Jacob, what are you doing now? You are supposed to finish your postdoc. So I told him, I'm actually doing this, that. So in some cases, you don't need to wait till somebody contact you, because people are busy normally. So if before you finish your PhD, you can just send an email and tell them that, dear Professor so, I'm working on so area. I believe this work complements your work. Can you be a co-author on that? Of course, your target is not really him being a co-author. Your target is getting him together with you, to invite you. Either if there is no postdoc, he might have opportunity, he might know about opportunity somewhere to refer you. So when you go to conference, these are things you should do. You should not just look at every other work. Many research in my field, I don't even know what they are talking about. Of course, I know the basic. For example, if somebody is talking about black hole, people who are working on a supermassive black hole. I don't have detail about that research, but my work is on the solar atmosphere, and you can ask me many questions here. So also, when I go to conference, people who are working on solar atmosphere, that's actually I devote more time for their talk than somebody who is talking about a black hole, somebody is talking about emission from the moon, how we are receiving it. Of course, they are interesting, but those in my area, I pay more attention. So this is very, very important. So let's go to the to the step-by-step proper. Now, postdoc are actually advertised, but there are two options. You have options. So when postdoc positions are already advertised, then you've already set yourself into a competition. Now, it's not as if it is no good not to be in competition. It is fantastically good because I myself, I like competition. Normal healthy competition, not competition of my friend is this, my friend is that. No, I don't care about that. But competing internationally with people I don't know, it's actually a joy for me. So whenever a position, a postdoctoral position is advertised, then you've already set up yourself into a competitive application. Okay, so postdoc is a kind of job that you don't need all positions to be advertised. There are positions, and what brings those positions are actually interests. And whose interests are these? Government, companies, individuals. So once there is interest, then there are fundings. And when there are fundings, there are positions. So before if you contact some professors who will get some funding to do some research work ahead before it is advertised, then you already cut off from the issue of getting into competition with people you don't know. So you already, oh, this guy is working in my area. Can I send him an email? Or maybe you just sent an email. Oh, Jacob, we are expecting a funding from so we've applied. Hopefully it gets through, but send me your CV. Let's start from there. So it is good to enter into competition, of course, but please try as much as possible, reach out to as many as possible PIs, potential PIs, so that if there will be opportunities, you can be selected ahead. So I on the universities actually post postdoctoral, just posted postdoctoral position. I did put my picture on the advertisement, and I don't know. I felt because they added something, so I felt somehow. So university actually add positions. They actually advertise positions. So please take your time. Either you finish your PhD or you are still on the PhD program. Take your time, go through university's website and look at those in your research field. Now, people that are in your research field are also are not necessarily people that align with your research interests. Now, your research interest is very important. Why is it very important? Because it will require less stress. Okay? Working in research is already a stress. It's already a stress. Even if you are single, it's already a stress. So now working in a particular area that is aligned with your own interests, it is fantastic. So please take your time, check the number of professors there. First, go through their latest research work, okay? I mean, the paper they recently published is very, very important because every time trend is different from one research work to another, okay? So take your time to go through their recent work, then draft a letter, include some of their publication, then include how your work complements or how your work integrates into what they are doing in that lab. Please do not waste your time. write this letter and send to them. So you can get academic jobs, especially for postdoc, now on Nature Career. On my email, you can subscribe your email as a PhD student. You need to subscribe your email to all this. Okay, Science Career. Please do this. Do not waste time. ResearchGate, of course, many of us, and so many like that. Also, in China, there are many websites. Excuse me. So there are many websites that offer this free of charge. So please take your time and go through this. Then we also have an internal recruitment. Like if you are a PhD, let me tell you something. If you are a PhD and you are not yet graduated, even if you have graduated, I want you to do something. Always go through the Human Resources website, their website. So what happened is that they do advertise. Even professor in some of these universities don't know. They won't know that they've advertised. So there might be advertisement for postdoc. People in my university, they won't know, because where they will share it, they share it at the international on an international forum. It's not online here. So take your time, go through human resources or career in your university or any university. Take your time, go through that. So also referral. Like I said the other time, I said relationship is very, very important. You see, there is a place for, like my previous the previous speaker said. He said everybody is selfish, everybody is this that you. Yes, this is true. However, you see, when you have a good relationship and somebody who you have good relationship with is able to give you good recommendation, then you are likely to be picked. Now, I have a number of friends who share with me how they secured their postdoc. Some of them did never applied. For me, my current PhD, my current postdoc, I never applied, because it was my boss who submitted my name, and I wasn't even in China, because I was given PhD immediate. I was given postdoc immediately when I finished my PhD, but I was missing home terribly, so I had to go. And it was during COVID. So when I traveled to Nigeria, I couldn't come back. So I was in Nigeria for about 2 years before the China opened the gate. Of course, because my boss already gave me postdoc, I had a plan that I will work with him for certain, as long as he wants us to work together. So what happened was that he left CAS to university, and he brought me to the university where he is, and he offered me another postdoc. And I was surprised my type of postdoc. Okay, let's continue. So selecting mentor and research environment. Now, I've talked about this a little before. What I mean about your own research interests, what you want. For example, if somebody is working on in your research field, we have A, B, C, and somebody is working on B, and you're also working on B. So it's better you choose somebody who is working on B. Now, B is now divided into different parts. We have B1, B2, B3, B4. Please, if you have B1 and you're also working on B1, please choose the person on B1. Why is it like that? It will create a kind of stress-free and sorry, I don't know too many English words. So it will create a kind of stress-free work type that you won't need to learn too many things within a short time. And your own sanity and stability is actually more important. In fact, anything that will make you work efficiently must be given priority. So if you see somebody who is working in that your own area, it's better you start contacting from there. Evaluate them. Now, how do you evaluate some professors? How do you evaluate them? Of course, it's very difficult because you might not have somebody who know them or somebody who did this. But if you are able to see the number of collaboration they have, you can imagine, you can just guess that, oh, for somebody to have this kind of collaboration with this one, this person, this person, this person, this person, of course, this type of person will actually have a level of tolerance with people. But when you see somebody who doesn't have, I mean, you understand what I mean? So somebody who is very limited. So some of those things don't just happen. They happen for some reasons. Okay, maybe inability to have good relationship with people and all that. So it is just about selecting, starting from where it is much more possible for you to secure a position. Then assessing the lab. So assessing the lab is very easy. You look at the publication they have. You look at the funding from in their paper, because the funding are always acknowledged. So you look at these fundings. Of course, this kind of thing might be difficult to some people, especially some people who are working on areas that are not published. So, but if your work require like, if you are working with some industries, or you are working with some military, or you are working with, most of your work may not be published. Okay, so those people might be difficult to reach. Of course, in most cases, if you are not citizen of those countries, you might not get opportunity to work there in those labs. Okay. I once had experience when I was, I think in 2020, on LinkedIn, an organization, I won't mention the organization, sent me an email, and he said I should fill this form, give me some things, and when I was looking at it, I didn't see any African country, and so I now searched that name, and I searched that organization. Oh, it's a collaboration made for governments that has that organization together. So I reached out to the organization. They replied me with the email. They are sorry that they didn't check my nationality before contacting me. Oh, I say, oh yeah, I say it's okay. There's no problem. So, so if your work is not that type, if your research work is not in that area, then it is easy to find the information on the paper they publish. You will see the acknowledgement. If you check all papers being published, those that were funded, you will see this. Then you can look at the periodic. You will take your time. Like the previous speaker said, that it takes time. Okay, you just take time, check through the acknowledgements. You will see different type of funding they have. Then you can look at the projection, the year interval. So this is how to know how healthy a lab is. And it could be one of the things you might be considering when you are contacting potential PI. So when you see that, oh, this lab is getting funding, maybe I will get job. Because one thing is very important. When there is interest, there is funding. Then when there is funding, there is opportunity. So this is the rule, and it will be there till end of time. So try do this research as. Then, okay, I've talked about research alignment with your interests. Then reputation, that is the reputation of your mentorship track. So it's also part of it. Like I said earlier, the number of collaborations could be used, but not in all cases, just for you to make part of your decision because we need to work smartly. We don't just start sending email, because you don't just send email. You write based on the latest publication of that person and include your own part of work, how it integrate together. So it takes time for you to draft one cover letter, which should not be more than maybe like an abstract. It shouldn't be too much. Nobody has time to read too many things. Just like 1 or 2 sentences like that. It's okay. So you need to go through this. Then lab culture, collaboration, innovation, and resources. Of course, I think I've said all this in my and including checking funding stability. So it's very important. I think I've mentioned all this. Networking. I think I've also said this, but let me talk about engaging online. Oh, for example, I'm not a good example when it comes to online. I don't really like, let me just say, maybe I would say I don't like, or I don't have time for online something. I don't know why. For example, I don't have Twitter account. I don't just feel like, so, but to Twitter, LinkedIn are very good platform. When you publish your paper during your PhD, make sure you extract the most important points, attach it on the LinkedIn, tag the relevant institution, research institute that you can possibly work with. Tag them in your publication. Even if you are finished, you can start doing that now, even though the paper has been published for some time. So you can start doing that. So you need to engage online, on LinkedIn, on a Twitter, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Facebook is that relevant these days. I'm not sure, but I know of LinkedIn and Twitter, now X. Okay, build rapport through academic discussion. I think I've said this before, but there are things we need to consider most, especially when it comes to securing a postdoctoral position, because your PI is not actually is a boss, but is more or less like colleague. I don't know, maybe we have had some postdoc who don't engage in the activity of their professor students. So, but it is very common thing for you to have to lead the group that your professor is leading. So, please just pay attention anytime you are in a gathering, anytime you are being offered platform to meet people in your field. Please ask good, thoughtful questions, especially those that we showcase you. So this is very important. Yes, I've talked about this. So now, when you are reaching out for potential postdoc, please make sure you use very short title in your email, because you don't need to write how do I say, you can just write application for postdoctoral position in. So instead of saying, for example, my area is astrophysics. So instead of saying astrophysics, but the person I'm targeting is in solar physics. So I will not put astrophysics, I will put in solar physics. So you capture where their research interests are. Same with your letter, okay? And your letter should not be more than abstract. And this abstract must contain your PhD information, where the institution, your major research findings, especially. Then in the next step, how it relates to the work of the person you are contacting. Then you can put the link so that as they read, they can get the link. Then in the cover letter, make sure your CV. Now, CV does not have one format. CV does not have a particular format. So your CV must be drafted based on your information, how important those information are. So your name, your school, your PhD thesis, I mean, what you achieve and all that. Sorry, I couldn't draft one and present here in this talk. My apology. Then I think this should be the last point, either the last point also. Now, you need to, when you are making contact with potential PI, try as much as possible to ask if you can have opportunity of discussing with them your research focus in the email, okay? That you will appreciate if there will be opportunity for you to present what you've done in your PhD and how it integrates into what they are doing in the lab. So you can put one or two papers and use one or two sentences to craft out the main finding, how that particular area integrates into your own work. So it is very, very important to captivate. Then if your email is able to reach the potential PI with your request, then such a person will not hesitate. Okay. I once had this kind of interview with a university in the United States. And after the interview, they asked me, how soon can you visit our campus? So I told them, I said, I'm not in the United States. I'm in Nigeria at the moment. Oh, he said, how soon can you get a visa? Oh, I said, I will need to find out and get back to them. This was at the time that I was that was already, my mind was already in a place. So clarify funding and expectation for postdoc. Now, while you are applying for all these things, please don't forget to keep applying for postdoctoral funding. There are many international organizations that offer independent postdoctoral funding. I once had this thing on my previous computer, so I tried to get this, but I couldn't pull it out. So, but you can search in your own area organizations that fund postdoc. Okay, even doctors. For example, in wildlife, I know someone, I won't mention where the country where the person is, who got a lot of money from different international organizations. So they're about preserving the forest, all these forest animals, all these kind of things. So he got a lot of money. So you can also, if you have opportunity, if you see, it is actually very easy to get in touch with those people. You can go through the journal, especially you as a researcher, you are publishing, you know some journals that are of high quality, and they may be grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Please let this journal take your time, go through the funding from those papers. So you can get a sheet of paper, write just the way I used to do, just write down those funding and all that. Then you can take your time, search them one after the other, and see if you may be qualified for some of this research. Okay, there are many things that you can also do, like writing books, book chapter. Okay, writing book chapter also offer a number of opportunity, like sharing the same publication with some people who you don't even know, and they are experts. So having your name together with them is a great honor. Then another thing, how to secure a postdoctoral position easily is somebody you've never met before. You can pick a particular area of their research work, or you put your work, maybe the work you are doing, you can send it to them and write a cover letter telling them if they will be interested in being part of this work, and that you will appreciate their input, input in this work. So sometimes you might just be lucky, and that might be the life-changing step we ever take. There are many other things. Let me apologize again that I couldn't say that I didn't prepare any letter. I'm so sorry to present for this work. So some of the funding, for example, depend on countries. In United States, NSF is famous. Also in China, NFSC, and many other. In Germany, then it's a matter of taking your time to go through some of these organizations. Then you also need to write a proposal. Now, it's kind of easier for somebody who has finished his PhD, or somebody who is about to finish PhD, to write a strong proposal that will change, that many people in that field will not be able to resist. Okay, so you write a good proposal along. In some cases, you send it along with your CV and a cover letter. And in some cases, you might not put some funding information, maybe some critical information. Okay, as an expert, you will understand how you should draft what should be able to captivate potential PI. Excuse me. Then when we send out email, either a code one or follow up or whatsoever. It is very important we go through reminding. I mean, we send a subtle reminder. So, for example, maybe you sent an email to somebody. Of course, maybe you've exchanged an email once. So you can just send a trend asking that, oh, I saw this publication from so. You put the link and is kind of interesting. If this can be worked on, especially looking at your work you publish from so and so. So it is a kind of subtle reminder about you so that they don't forget you there. Of course, what you are sending is good, but it's a subtle reminder because many PI are actually busy. Even master degree are busy. So PI, they have more on their table to attend to. So it's better we send such subtle follow-up and which we also need to take care of like cultural things. For example, there are manner or there are ways that if you use for some people, maybe in China it might be offensive. In the United States it might be, oh, they might be cool with that. So we should pay attention to the to our expression when we are communicating with potential principal investigator. Then the other one I want to talk about is we need to have a backup plan. So backup plan is of different type. For example, in the you can look up to having work on the field. For example, when we start, when I started my postdoc, of course, I couldn't come early because I wanted to finish my. I had some students in my university, so I wanted to finish marking their script, submit their score. So I was late by about 4 months or so. So I couldn't join my colleague. So when I came back, there was a Pakistani guy who, when he got there, he got a job with a railway line. So he said, "Oh, we've been hearing about you. You are just coming. What happened? This, that." Oh, told him, and he left. He left to railway, high-speed rail, power supply system. So you might not only focus on institution, you can also do research in companies. Research, some companies has research research departments where they recruit a lot of postdoc. And in China here, easily we have Huawei, Xiaomi, Bank of China. Many of these are not research institute. They're just companies, and they recruit a lot of postdoc. So these are part of it. You contact the company you are working with. Is even very much famous in biological sciences. So in biological sciences, there are companies that manufacture like these beauty things, and they need a lot of some educational input. you can contact them if your work is in that area. Then some companies also manufacture medicine. You can contact them. So these are, and your work will also still be based on postdoc. If you want, you may convert later. It depends on if what they are offering align with your personal goal. And we also have you can explore as many as possible institutions. So like I said earlier, there are some organizations that fund external research work. So you can reach out to them. Some of them also have facilities where people from different parts of the world go through, like all this wildlife research area. Sorry, I couldn't supply much example. Then also, we must be persistent in keeping our network. For example, somebody who did not reply to you today, you may send another email, maybe after 6 months, and see if the person will get back. So it's not as if you send one and you forget about it. Maybe when they saw your email, there was no funding, nothing on grant. But now, after 6 months, the government have just said, oh, this area is our strategic move and we want to pump money there, this, and its lab is now booming in billions. So you, by the time you strike back with the email and they saw your email, oh, we are planning to recruit, let's check this guy is there, then that might be a life-changing story. Then consider multiple international body. Okay, let me just say this. So when I finished my master degree, I was applying for PhD. Then I saw an advert in Japan talking about internship in Mercedes-Benz. Then I sent my email, and I was surprised. They got back to me. Oh, they say you are the only applicant who applied for this job, but unfortunately, we've selected all the people, and you are sending your application so late. Please, by this time next year, we will recruit again. Please send another one. Okay, so it's just something outside what I was looking for. I was looking for a PhD opportunity, but I saw internship, then I applied. Okay, though I did not get it, but I was happy getting a feedback. So in conclusion, one, you cannot get it wrong. You will always get it right when you start early enough. Whatever, even this applies to anything we want to do. Being early, being ahead of order, being strategic, we always put you ahead. No matter what you do, what you are applying for. And be strategic enough. Be strategic enough. I have applied for postdoc myself before, but there was no a time that I didn't have a position. Of course, I was offered before, after my PhD. So there are your ability to make contacts as much as possible is very, very important, and you have to be strategic. And if you are also doing postdoc now, now please go and find out in the research institute, in the human resources departments, what are the requirements to become associate professors. So sometimes these things are not open. So what you just need to do in most university is just doubling your requirement. For example, if you are required to publish maybe 2 Q1 or 1 Q1 or so. So if you're able to publish Instead of 2, you publish 4. Okay? You might be promoted to associate professor. So please, all these strategies are for both PhD and postdoc. Starting early, though depend on where you want to go or what you want, which is very, very important. Then be persistent. That you send an email to someone and he did not respond. 6 months after or 4 months after, send again. Improve on what you sent. Send it again. Okay? The contact you've collected over the years, send them an email telling them you are currently working on this and you will be grateful if my work will be integrated into your work. Okay? Tailor your application. So you don't just send the email you sent to Professor A, you sent it to the same Professor B. When Professor A and Professor B have different research directions. So you send email based on the person, research work and direction. So this is very important. Then in the area of relationship, your relationship is very, very important. Okay? Don't say, oh, I will round up my postdoc here. No, I will round up my PhD here. I don't need all of them. Please. Recommendation from your professor is very, very important. Do not create unnecessary friction where you are supposed to have smooth ride. Okay? Always look at what the consequence of your action will be. Then let me point out this. Do not make decision based on money. Do not make decision based on money. If you are looking at growing academically or in that industry, always put what will make you progress as priority than money. So whatever thing you want to do, for example, if you are doing your postdoc, okay, and you have opportunity, you have get every information you need. You have opportunity to go to associate professor. Do not abandon that for anything. Okay? Maybe there is another postdoc somewhere, and it will pay more than that getting associate professor. You see, your career, the faster you are able to move, the easier you are to funding, to bigger funding, and to opportunity. So these are things as young people we need to take very, very seriously, and we must take as a priority. The issue of money should not determine too much when we are making our decision. So relationship, because we are very young, if we are 70 years old, then our time is not much. But when we are still very young, we have many people to contact, and our friends has many years to go before us. So good relationship is very, very important. Then, like I said earlier, work extra mile, seek for funding from outside, maybe of your university, of the country where you are, and that. Please always get the blessing of people who are before you. Thank you very much.
Quite an insightful presentation. Oh my God. I wish you can see the chat panel. It's just booming of a whole lot of praises of how much you had opened a whole lot of options as to what people should prepare and everything. I'm sure we all had a very good time. Yes, sir. So please, can you stop sharing so I can just showcase my PPT for question
Okay.
and answer? So please, I do encourage us to pop in this, push it in. Just send in your questions. I will take them one by one. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a very wonderful one. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. I'm coming. I need to. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Can you help me read the questions?
Yes,
Those
sir.
that
I
are
will do that. I would do that. I just want to showcase our question and answer so that people can, yeah, see what's going on up here. So, yes. So I would take the most of the questions in the chat panel first, and then those persons who had indicated by raising their hands, I will take you later. So please, let's go with the questions in the chat panel first. So the first question, I think, goes to Mr. Favor. So the person said, thank you, Mr. Favor, for the presentation. Please, when is the best time to start the application in order to avoid a year gap after master's degree? Mr. Favor, please, can you unmute?
Yeah. I think that's a good question. Well, I think from what you've gotten from post presentation, like if you're doing a PhD, you don't wait like the end of your program, like the last year before you start, you know, making those connections. And yeah, so to me, you don't actually have to wait till you finish your, and you know, in China, you probably just have one month after you finish your PhD to sort out yourself. Is either you have a PhD position, except things have changed. It's either you have a postdoc position to stay back or you go back to home. So if you want to like start applying, if you're doing a master's program, you want to start reaching out maybe after your first year, that you already know what you're doing, your research, and you have an idea of what you want for your PhD. Start making the connection so that maybe by your 1.5 years, you're already applying for some of those things. You finished your course and you have your transcript. That's the major thing. You don't need your certificate before you apply, actually. So you just apply with your transcript and maybe later. You don't have to show your certificate. You can show your certificate after you've been admitted and so on. So yeah, so that's my suggestion. Please don't wait till you get your certificate and you start applying. It's gotta be a lot of pressure. And you can't have that guarantee that it's just gonna come through immediately.
Thank you so much. So you have heard what Mr. Favor had said. Get your transcripts ready and maybe a statement of result and start the application. You don't have to necessarily wait for certificate, which comes after the whole MSc had been concluded. So the next question is, please kindly shed more light on scholarship application period in Australia. So I think the person wants to know the application time, the deadline. I think he had made mention of this during his presentation. But sir, Mr. Favor, please more insight into the application period in Australia. The person wants to know when the application starts and the deadline.
I think I shared a link.
Yeah, it's
The
clear.
best is to the best is to. Can I be heard?
Yes, sir, we can hear you
I think your
clearly.
voice is cracking, but I don't know if it's from my head.
We can hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I think it's like whatever university you want to apply to, like, oh, sorry. I think it's from my hands. Can you give me a sec, please?
Okay, no problem.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah. So, like, they've got 2 rounds of application in a year. So, whatever suits the time you're graduating, or if by the time you're graduating it doesn't work, then you still have another chance. So, I would say, even if you're graduating with a master's, still apply to jobs. Like, apply to PhD offers, even in China. Do you understand? Yeah. I know quite a lot of people that they started PhD in China. Maybe they felt they had another opportunity and they left. Some of them had a good relationship with their supervisor and Do you understand? There wasn't any fraction, there wasn't any issue. Do you understand? So yeah, I would say you have that two opportunities. So deadline, there's one for deadline for August 31st, and there's one for deadline for I think March. But most importantly, most of those informations are on the university website.
Yeah, thank you so much for for that very simple and straightforward answer. So please, for the Australia application, you can go back to the video on YouTube. He shared a screenshot. He shared a screen on that. He told us about when you are required to submit for the first and second round as an international student or a domestic student. And he has also emphasized that you could go to the website and get further insights on the school in particular and the scholarship in particular. So another question is, please, is it possible for us to get the presentation slides for day 1 to the 4th day? If yes, how can we get the document? Thank you once again for your effort. Okay, so please, in case you are unable to get all the PPT, I would encourage you to please check the chat panel, go to our Facebook or go to the YouTube. You can rewatch the video. I think that's more of an advantage than having the PPT. So another question is for postdoc application. I think this is for Dr. Jacob. Do one need to submit a code mail, CV, then some documents and transcripts when approaching a potential PI?
So what is the question?
For postdoc application, do one need to submit a code mail, CV, transcript, or what other documents are required in approaching a potential PI?
Okay, you don't need to submit your transcript. Of course, transcript is for the academics. So what PI are looking for, because the money given to PI is to meet a target, to fulfill particular interests. So this interest is not about academics. It is a serious life work. So what you just need to do is that you write a short cover letter with your CV. It's okay. So then please kindly note this. Introduce yourself, number 1, your university, and your area of research where you are working. Okay? Then include how your work integrates or complements the work of the PI. Okay? And that means how you will complement that lab and what output you will add to them. Okay? The last part is that request for 30 minutes Zoom meeting. It's okay. With your CV, Pam, you don't need transcript.
Thank you so much for such a very straightforward and detailed answer, like step by step what to do. Thank you. I think I really love that about the way you address questions and your presentation entirely. That's really nice.
Oh, thank you very much.
For the CV, sir, is there a particular style? The person said any particular CV style.
Okay, there is no style. There is no one CV. So what CV does is that it defends you where you are not, when you are not there. So in any information at all that will put you into a good position, then it should be on your CV. Then any information that will reduce you, please remove them. So CV must not be too like having many pages. No. Okay. Just put, like, if you've, for example, if you've won award, make sure, like, my CV has my award.
That's so nice.
So
Of your awards.
I mean, my CV has my award, the award I've got.
Them.
Yes. So my CV must send me where I'm not present. Okay, so there is no particular way of writing. Just make it clear, bold, and let them see what you want them to see. And it must not be too much. Like somebody sent me a CV yesterday on WhatsApp. So I told the person to resend through email, that I won't be able to type on WhatsApp because my WhatsApp is not linked with my laptop. So I said, if you want me to correct this CV, the words are just too much. Send it to my email. I will rewrite it for you. So this is so the CV must not be too wordy. Then concerning the PPT, I can share my PPT if
Wow, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I will get it from you, and possibly persons who had attended and filled the questionnaire, the survey form. At least we have your email address. That's a very good way to send it alongside with the certificate. So for whatever PPT I'm able to get, if you are getting your certificate, it comes along with the certificate. I think that's will do. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Mr. Favor, thank you too. So I think this question is for Mr. Favor. So the person is like, great, thanks for this opportunity. I am following up from Benin Republic. I have a bachelor's degree in applied linguistic English, and I'm willing to pursue my master's degree in early childhood education, or in the field like master's degree in translation and interpretation. The person did not continue the question, but I just want to feel the person is asking if such opportunity is very common in Australia.
Yeah, yes, definitely. It's something we all know is that sometimes there's a bias towards STEM. You know, you've got more funding for STEMs, biology, maths, and so on. But that doesn't mean that other stuff don't have their funding for um languages, linguistics, and social, what did you call it? I forgot it, because at least I know few people that do something like that. But most importantly, when you're doing research, it's not about coursework. So you want to make sure that you look at what is common or what is in vogue in the research field outside, and see how what you've studied align with it. And look at it, okay, am I interested in this? Is this something I want to do? Then you can then pursue after that. Sometimes you might study English language and this, and you are doing research, it's not English language, it's not called English language. You might even be doing one computational something language stuff. There are people that do AI, they are not AI engineers, they didn't do engineering, but they are talking about, okay, responsible AI. How do we ensure that this is socially acceptable? This is this and that. So I would say, if you have that bachelor, make sure you know what's going on, what's selling, and channel your stuff towards that. And the thing is that you actually do a master's degree in one field and you want to do a PhD and you move to another related field. Do you understand? For me, like I moved from animal science, animal genetics into human genetics, biomedical science. Like, do you get what I mean? So you can always move from different stuff as long as it's related. So that's what I would say. Look at what is getting funded, what's having more funding for masters, even in Australia, you know, and or where you have supervisor having more interest in researching on, and just align yourself towards that. That's what I would recommend.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a very great one. Do what's trending in your area of study. Look for the hot topics and try to send that as your interest, or your area of or your potential area for your research that will capture the attention of the professor to consider you. So don't do something that people no longer think or talk about. Do what is trending. So another question is, I think this question is for Dr. Jacob. So the person said, please, can you stress on the proposal? Dr. Jacob? Okay, thank you.
Yes. So proposal, for example, if you are designing a proposal, especially for the one you want to use for application. So what you need to do is it must align with the person you are sending it to. Okay, so it could just be an expansion of their own work. Of course, please do not include funding like cost information. There's some information that is not necessary. Just focus on the expansion and method. For example, because in my own field, some of the methods I use has to do with mathematics, equation, and so in biology, I don't know, different ways, different method as well. Okay, so you know how you should present it so that even if somebody now publish that work, you will not cry. Okay, so of course it is one of the, and even if somebody publishes your work that you use for application, one thing about life is that you lose, you win. So when you lose at times, just take it as a gain. So you move on. It's no matter.
But that's painful though, because that's so much
Yes.
effort, so much work, so much time and investment. And for someone to see,
Yes.
I should be happy. I should
Yes.
cry.
It's something that happened. Okay, I have submitted a paper before and the paper was rejected after 8 months. So after 8 months, I saw about 1 month after the paper was rejected, I saw that type of work. Even my topic, I think the first 5 letters was the same as the one I submitted. I don't know who reviewed my paper, but I saw that happen. So I have to change the one that was rejected, and added some things to be able to publish. So I was able to publish in a lower journal. I wasn't happy with the work. I think till today that work happened to be the worst work that I don't like. So it's normal, it's part of life. So in as much that you are relating with human being have interest, then you can be cheated. But when you are cheated, please just laugh it off and continue with your life. It's normal thing.
Thank you so much for the encouragement. But my kind of person, I think I will cry first. So the person is asking, please, how lengthy should a good proposal be? What important information should it contain? How lengthy?
So the methodology, yes, the methodology and the expected result. Okay, these two are very, very important because the expected result is actually what we send information to the people who is sponsoring the project, and they are expecting something. So your result, your method, and the expected result is very, very important. Then, if possible, make sure your work has some kind of element, that is integration or connection with the person who you are sending it to. So if I want to design one now, so what I will do is that I will pick from the work of that potential PI and expand. So this is what I will do. So even if I wasn't invited and I see this work published later, I won't be it won't be painful to me that much because I actually developed it based on this person. But of course, if you are able to convince such a person, you will definitely get that.
This is quite insightful. So that means more focus on the methodology and expected results, and in
Yes.
alignment with that of the PI. We got you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. That's quite Like, I think today's section is just being back to back, like just some points. So hot. It's so nice. So, okay, the next question is, what significance does age have in getting postdoc in China? So, because I've seen another question, the person is asking, what's age for postdoc? What's the age limit for postdoc in China? So I won't repeat the question. Persons are asking the same thing.
So, let me just say, postdoc is a serious business. So, serious business in such a way that it is not much more of academics. It is much more of applications. I'm just talking from my field, and I believe it's also the same with anybody in STEM. Okay, because even some of the work we are doing, we don't know the application, but let the guys that are in production unit or some automobile, medicine, biologists take your work. You will know that it's actually of high value. So postdoc is a serious business. Now, in terms of age, China has age limit of 35. Okay, but I was more than 35 when I came to China. So now let me tell you the gist. And before I was invited, the visa that was given to me, it was free of charge. The government, Chinese government, refunded my money back to me.
Wow, that means you are quite assets.
And it has a kind of far longer than any passport that I can get from Nigeria. So now
you deserve the applause.
Now there is something we call national strategy. So if you follow international politics, you will know what we call international strategies. So let me quickly brief it.
Okay.
Some hot areas. So if you are working in this area, just know how to catch up with the opportunities. Now we have the area of EV, electric vehicle cars. So, and the major part of it is the battery, that is the research, the cell. Okay. So China is leading, and China want to continue to lead. Others also want to get in. So if you are in this area, even if the postdoc age is 25 and you are 40, you are getting in. Okay. So this national strategy surpass any requirements. And you have to understand this. Then currently, there is also another area, the area of nanotechnology. If you are working in this area as well, forget about age. Okay, so many people, in terms of age requirements, areas that China has that they feel they need to have more experts, foreign talents, the age is relaxed. So you can be given a postdoc in this area. So also in the United States, for example, for years, United States have been struggling with putting their astronaut in space to repair the International Space Station. So even despite war is going on with Russia is helping them to send their scientists. So of recent, the Elon Musk came to break that. And you know what? Elon Musk still need thousands of talents. Okay, so if you are working in this area, in some area, it's material, like material to develop, material to resist a high temperature, all these things. If you are working in this area, you will know. Okay, so what I want to tell you is that national strategy is one. Okay, so when you have national strategy, for example, there is a company setting up in US, I think semiconductor. and they said they can't get the talent in the United States, and they said they have to import. And we're talking of thousands of people. So is the national strategy is one. Then another one is companies. Companies are into tight competition. If you don't know, many companies, for example, let me use the automobile, especially within China. The competition within them is to the roof, such that I'm not even sure they are making profits. So, and every day, new companies continue to emerge. The competition, I must survive. Well, this is normal human being. Interest and survivor. It's normal. So, and everybody will do whatever they want. They want whatever they feel like to attain what they want to attain. Like what my previous presenter said, he said everybody is selfish and they want the best. Unless you want to deceive yourself, everyone has interests. So this interest is what you as a postdoc, in fact, as a matter of fact, if you are doing PhD, you need to know where your work is being applied. You need to know where you key in. And there is no area that does not have critical application. Even recently, I got to know that people in economics are even more needed in terms of their micro insight. So you need to understand this. So companies, national, individual, all of them have interests. You see, people don't just give money to university to do research for publishing sake alone. There is interest. So these are the interests we must know how to key into and develop ourselves to the level that we also be part of that industry. I don't know, maybe I answered that question.
Yes, you had answered it a whole lot. So the two major things I got from your answer is we have to pay attention to what? National strategy. So whatever you think
Yes.
the country has as an edge above other competing countries, such area of research is key. So age wouldn't be a barrier. So the second thing you said is company competitions. So China, there are a whole lot of companies. So if they're competing and you have a certain skill, age will not be a barrier. So everyone top up the game. That's what Dr. Jacob is telling us today. So let's move on to the next question. So the next question is, please, what is NSF? So that's National Science Foundation. Okay, it's like a grant offering body. Okay, most times is US based. China also have theirs. So let's move on to the next question. So the next question here is, dear Dr. Jacob, thanks for the knowledgeable and insightful sharing I just experienced shared. Oh, thanks for the knowledge and experience shared about the lab culture and expectations. Can you brief us on what informs a good culture and what should be our expectation from the lab? More so, if during the interview, the PI asks us of our expectation, what do we say?
So there is a lab culture. For example, I'm a Yoruba guy from Nigeria. Okay, so there are some things that if you come to my university where I lecture in Nigeria, and you are from anywhere, the professor we all respect that we always do like this too.
Yeah.
And you just go.
Imagine, sorry to add in. I was doing this. I finished from UI. So I'm so used to greeting this way. And I had to greet this way when I got to China. And my professor started greeting me this way. Okay, sorry, sir. You can continue.
So
it's like
lab culture is that you understand. Then if also when you understand the culture, for example, in China, there are many taboos, like you don't give clock to people or wristwatch as a gift. You don't do some other thing. You don't put chopstick on the food you are eating like this. So it has so many things like that. So it's just basic. So I have, of course, I read a lot of books about Chinese culture and all that. Then the lab culture in particular, okay, let me say this. So in my lab, I'm sorry for bringing my lab to so many people because
Sir, please don't be too sorry about a whole lot of things. Express to us. We are happy to hear. We are enjoying the experience, the sharing. Please just tell us, free. Don't be sorry about it.
So in our group, because our professor is kind of happy, like generous somehow. So everybody, including master students, they will be inviting us to go and have BBQ. Or either they ask us to go together and the person will pay. Even master student. Me, it's not part of me. So I now call the other guy, say, what is happening? You are inviting us. He said he's just happy. So he's just happy. I told myself, when I left them, I said, so he's just happy. He spent 350 RMB so that we eat BBQ. Then I started noticing. Oh, one day I now went to my professor. I said, today I'm inviting the lab. So it's kind of like a rotation. Like at least every month, at least once every month, one person. It's not as if somebody say it. You understand? Somebody will just come up. Then another thing is that in the lab, when I was doing my PhD, I did my PhD in CAS, but now I'm in university in another province. So in the university, in the CAS, so they used to bring water. That water, all of us were in the same lab. So initially, I thought it was our professor that was giving us money to do this. So one day, one of the guy now ordered somebody, they now brought it. Oh, they said, this water, did you just pay? I said, yes, I paid. Oh, really? Oh, last time, professor paid, right? Oh, I don't know who paid. Oh, I said, okay. I kept to myself. The next time, I said, oh, where is that guy? I want to pay for the water today. Oh, and he called the guy, and the guy gave me his WeChat, and I scanned it, and I paid 35 RMB, and they brought water. You understand? So I didn't notice, they did not tell me, and I think I have stayed there for more than 1.5 years before I know this. So you need to know what they are doing. That's somehow different from normal research work, like, so you need to get yourself
Acquainted.
observant what is happening. So it could also apply to research work. For example, if they are publishing and they are putting their names together on the paper. So when you are publishing yours, please include them. So that when they are publishing theirs, so you also include. So these are things that happen. You need to pay attention. It helps us to have good relationship, good memory of us and everything. So it's very important. Then the second part of the question, please, can you help me repeat that question?
The second part is, okay, now we know what to expect just in terms of the culture, right? So he asked that during the course of the interview, if the PI now asks that, what are your expectations? What do we say?
Now, I have said it earlier that you must be able to come out from their recent research work. You must be able to correlate your work with them such a way that their work complements yours or yours complement theirs, such a way that they integrated somehow. Okay. Now, this is the main thing why you are writing them. So your work must be a kind of complementary. So when you join the lab, you will not be somebody who they are just now dragging, because they've seen it from what you wrote and what you are doing, that this guy coming to our lab is coming to help us. Now let me point out some example. So I work on a paper at the time, so there was a software called IDL, and I don't know this IDL. So I did my master in footer, so I use MATLAB. So it's MATLAB that I that I carry come China. So when I got to the lab, they are using IDL. And IDL is kind of complicated, okay? But now, as God will have it, one of the guys now needed MATLAB to do something. So I just, oh, where is it? Let me see. I didn't get it very well, but I had to go to on YouTube to see how I can solve that problem. And it took me some time. So I was able to help him to address it. It was a minor thing to me when I got this strategy. So, but for me, they were able to help me to use IDL to solve some of the problem that I also had. So in that way, I did not only come to get from them, I also help in my area. So you need to let them know that you understand this too, or you are coming to complement with what you are doing and what you intend to do.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. So if I understood you very well, when the PI asks such a question, it's better to say that you would, your expectation is like active collaboration. If I'm to call it
Yes,
what you have said so far, active
yes,
collaboration. It
yes,
says that I'm bringing in my skills. I expect that I should be able to also get some skills into improving my work. Thank you so much, sir.
yes. Very quickly, in my presentation, I said, I think is the first word in my presentation. So in that word, I said, know how to use your research tools. From my presentation in my PPT, know how to use your research tool. It is very, very important. In Yoruba, we say, iṣẹ́ ẹni láti ń mọni lọ́lẹ. So your work, it is in your own work that they will know that you are lazy. So if you are your own work, you are not doing it well, then what is your work? So this is the Yoruba adage.
Thank you so much, sir. Oh my God, this is so nice, but we are running off time. I just think we just have I wouldn't like us to go past 12 o'clock, which is just barely less than 15 minutes from now. So please, I think the answering of the question will be a little bit fast so that we can be able to take more. So how do we distinguish PI from all the professors we may come across either on LinkedIn or through their publication, since not all professors are PIs? So how do we distinguish a PI from the professors we come across on social media platform or through their publications, since not all since not all professors are PIs? I think I'll just give a quick answer to this so that we'll move to the next one. If you check the publication, most times the PIs are the corresponding authors. So that's one of the ways to know these persons. And if you go on the website, there is difference between an associate professor, an assistant professor, a research professor, and a full professor. So most times, most PIs, like the key PIs, are the full professors, and then we have associate professors. Most research professors are just newbies in the show. Assistant professors are also new, early career. So, but assistants could be a PI. Very, very, a associate, high potential. Full professor, yeah. So knowing which of them will be interested in recruiting a student depends on the funding, be it postdoc or anything. So let's move on. Do we submit transcripts for postdocs he had already told us that we don't need to submit transcript. We just have to submit CV, right, Dr. Jacob? I'm trying to, yeah.
Yes, yes.
So much. Thank you so much. So I saw an advertisement in Canada that required transcripts. So that could be just specific for such kind of application. It's talking about approaching API, not for the postdoc application. I'm already losing my voice. So approaching API, you don't necessarily need a transcript, but during the course of application, you might want to submit your transcript. So we have a whole lot of thank you. And then do we add our publication on our CV, or for those that conduct peer-reviewed articles for journals can be added on OCHIT file? So definitely your publication should be on your CV. Yeah, Mr. Favor had said a whole lot about how those add to your points in order to get into Australia. Dr. Jacob had also emphasized that in postdoc, it's not all about the publication. Your work might have been for the industrial sector, so definitely you might not need that. I want to see how fast I can go so that people who are raising their hands, we can give them opportunity. So please, Doc, is it possible to gather us following the, okay, definitely join the OAAD, okay? Join the OAAD, scan the code, Mr. Dr. Odi and our Dr. Stephanie will add you to the group so you can get in touch with scholars. Thank you, sir, for the clarification about the age. You said when you came to China, you were already above 35 years. But please, what I want to know more about the place you did your postdoc. Is it institution or private organization or company? So, sir, please.
I'm in the university. I'm in the government university.
Wow. Wow, that's exceptional. Sir, you're very unique. Please. Okay, now you spelled my name in a very funny way. You omitted H. My name is Chiamaka. Okay, there's no problem, okay? We will get his contacts, maybe email or something. I think if he wants to share, he will drop it in the chat panel. If not, you can join OAAD and then through due protocol, you'll be linked up with him. So, wow, today is really superb. Yeah, thank you. Please, if you are invited for an open interview for postdoc, how should you prepare? The secretary has not given information about the panel for you to do some research or others. So this person is asking, please, sir, I think this question is to Dr. Jacob. Please, if you are invited for an open interview for postdoc, how should you prepare? The secretary, that means where the person is applying, has not given information about the panel for you to do some research about. So how would you prepare when you don't know who your panelists will be?
Okay, so like I said, postdoc is a serious business. So your work, just know you know your work. So no matter what they ask from you, they will ask you, if you are applying as a physicist, they won't be asking you biology. So just know your work. Your work, be confident, especially your research work. Then another thing you may need to do is that you may need to do a little research. The application of your work, where it can be applied to. So these are things, because they may ask you, okay, you've worked on so. Where do you think this work can be useful? So you should be able to break it down to them, tell them how, even if they don't ask, stylishly take the time to explain to them why your work is very important, the importance of your work. This is very important. I think I answered that question, right?
Yes, sir, you have done so well. And if I'm to get you again to make it more easy, simple, what Dr. Jacob is telling us is that when you're applying for your postdoc and you are asked to prepare for an interview, get at the back of your mind the significance of your research or what you're coming to present about. So that would enable or aid you in answering a whole lot of questions, because that's what most of the panelists will be interested in. So another question is, I currently applied to a professor for postdoc, but he later transferred me to a recently concluded postdoc researcher to be the PI for my application. Although I had a good experience with him in developing the proposal, is this okay?
Yes. What's your business with him is just that's none of your business.
Yeah,
Your
I think it's something very
your own
common.
focus, your own priority is your own growth, your future. So it doesn't matter how you get there, especially if the person is lesser than you, or this is not your business. Your business is your own career, which is your priority. Please make him your friend. Invite him to dinner.
Okay, thank you so much. I think what this person had said is very evident, even in my lab presently in Hong Kong. If you come for postdoc, my professor is too busy. He can't handle you. He has a whole lot of professors in our lab, so he's just going to put you with them to work with. And then they give him the final result, and then he knows the few persons to talk to or interview. PI, someone is asking what's PI, principal investigator. Okay, so now Dr. Jacob is just interested in responding. Yeah, quite. Yeah, well, both speakers are just so nice. They have been giving very good response to our questions, and we are grateful. So thanks. And apart from the meaning of Anthony, what actually the position? Okay, what does the position of PI means? Oh, basically, these are people who are in charge of research. They're the ones in charge of the project, not just research, project. Like they are the head, they are the leader. Let's just put it that way. They are the leader of the project. So is PI. So I would give audience to persons who had raised their hand. I don't know if Mr. Cole is still online. He rose his hands were all up for some while before that of Mr. I don't know if it's Mr. or Mrs. Ify Michael. So please, if Cole is not on, please, you can unmute. I have asked you to unmute. Please, let's be fast. Just go straight to your question, Emmanuel. Michael, sorry. Ify. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I first of all appreciate the organizers and thank the speakers, as well as specifically appreciate the good work of the moderator. You're doing very well. Yeah. My name is Ifeanyi Michael, and I'm presently at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, master student to be precise. So I have just a single question for Mr. Favor, and my question goes thus: how? Because let me first of all say thank you to the response you gave to my question, anyways, because I had asked a question privately, but I still want clarity on this. I'd like to know what is the social environment in Australia as it pertains to international students. This is because, for most of us here in China, I don't know, for few persons to say, we have seen people who are socializing in fixed groups and all of that. So I want to also know, does that, kind of environment also happens over there? Do they also socialize in fixed group? Is the communication open? Do people relate nicely? Are there issues of discrimination and all of that? Because whether you like it or not, it can also, affect psychologically your, interactions, your whole this thing. So it depends. We are all different people with different ways we receive some of this feedback. So I would like to hear from you, Mr. Favor. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks for that good question. It's actually very, very interesting. I would want to start by saying just a quick point. Like, I think if anyone is going to really go far, especially you have to develop tough skin. Like, it's just like when we were in China and they say they are racist. You have to focus on the main, because there will always be stuff and there will always be, yeah, you learn to deal with some of these things, but you really have to develop tough skin. But I would say, like, compared to my experience And let me be sincere, I'm not saying this in a negative way with China, because sincerely, I had amazing time. I knew people that helped me that were Chinese. Do you understand? But in Australia, I think it's a bit different. One, because people are more exposed. Do you understand? Sometimes you might see some experience of this in China just because of the level of exposure of some people that that you meet. When you meet those that are quite traveled and well exposed, you realize that their interaction with you are a bit different. So here also, because it's a mixed culture, especially Australia, the original owners are blacks. They are Aboriginal people. They are not the white people. So when you see people, you see white, you see this, you know that all of us are nobody feel like a what do I call it? Like an international student, sort of. I don't know if that makes sense. You wouldn't know if this person is a permanent resident citizen or not, unless maybe you ask particularly, or maybe when you're applying for job application, the government agency. So you might know that. So it's culturally diverse, and that makes a lot of sense. That doesn't mean maybe sometimes you might not experience some things. Everybody experiences that. Even white people experience some of this difficulty. So if I answer your question very well, yes, um, it's quite okay. For me, sincerely, when I started my PhD, I missed China research community. Do you understand? Because quite a lot of people that we had around were research people. There's a way you are down and people just ginger you. There's a way you are down, you see that, oh, I'm not serious. So, you fire. I miss that because quite a lot of people that were around me were just shift work, work level stuff. So I had to be more intentional about creating that environment. I had to putting myself into teaching and research stuff so that at least my head I can bury myself in. Because I needed money too, but I had to give myself sense. Do you understand? Everybody is just shift, everybody's just I needed money, but I had to just give myself sense. I didn't have that community. I wanted to start one, but they wanted to put the show down on me. So I just run away. But I missed that for China. Do you understand? So I would say that you have to motivate yourself.
And no matter where you
Okay,
are,
thanks a lot.
are not at home, Michael, just know that it can never be home. Okay, it can never be like home. You don't need to know anybody by your name. I guess you're a Nigerian. You don't need to know anyone in the street. You come up in the morning, you see somebody, and you start gisting what you saw on the news, and the person is flowing with you. That's the cultural difference. Those of us in Asia and the rest of them, even if in the US and everywhere, it's not like it can never be like Africa. Africa, we are just like brothers and sisters. Those don't expect that anywhere. And for you to be able to strive and go further in life, you should be able to have tough skin, just like what Mr. Favor had said. There are some things that you just see and then you just like, okay, this is not necessary. I move on. So we move. So moving on to the next. Thank you so much for your insightful answers. At this point, I think we are done with all the question and answer. So I would move to the next part of our today's webinar. So thank you so much, Mr. Favor and Dr. Jacob. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so this is the closing remark and speech by our very own president of OAAD Global in person of Dr. Odi Elijah. Thank you so much, sir. You have the floor.
Hello, my neighbors. It's been a very beautiful time together, having conversation today and listening to our colleagues. I want to thank our brother Favor, our brother Jacob for doing justice to the topic. We thank you for the sacrifices you had to make this happen. And also we appreciate everyone, the colleagues who have been coming for these, to benefit from these things. There's something that is said that if you finish cooking food and nobody is available to eat it, then you're not going to be happy. So it's our joy that over all these years, we have, every time we cook, we have people to eat. And when people eat, we see evidence. And the importance of this for Africa cannot be overemphasized. We are very intentional in what we're doing. We're not just trying to see if we can do something. We're intentional, we are tenacious, and we are consistent. We know that this is very important for the continent. So please, whichever place you go to for the scholarship, like whether you're coming here to Asia or North America, that we listened to yesterday or 2 days ago, or Canada, the United States, UK, anywhere in Europe that you're going to, always remember, do not say that we did not remind you. And in the years ahead, of course, we'll still be hanging around to keep reminding everyone. And we hope you can remind yourself that there's a place you're coming from. You will never be from the place you're going to. You will always be a visitor, no matter how hard you work, no matter how productive you become, like our brother Jacob emphasized, and also reiterated by our brother Favor. You will always be a person coming from somewhere, and they want you to produce value. So always develop your mind to have an eye for gaps. Build your mind to have an eye for gaps. Always look for what you can do to contribute, what you can do to add value to what's already ongoing in the lab you're working, or for those who are not working in laboratories, have an eye for what you can contribute to the team you're working with to ensure that you are adding something new. In that way, you will never be a burden, and you will never really have a struggle as to how to maintain yourself or stabilize yourself in the system where you are. We also encourage you to intentionally pursue efforts to support other people within the Global Organization of African Academic Doctors. And also make yourself available. If you've got some expertise, make yourself available to support the younger ones who are part of the OAAD Masters Grooming Initiative. Support them and we can ensure that they become strong researchers who become effective in their areas. We hope that in the years ahead, since the African population is continuously young and expanding, in the next few years, we're going to have these Africans being located in very important positions around the world. Many of them will be the principal investigators that will be seen in various places. And for many of you attending this webinar tonight, in the next 5-10 years, you may be a principal investigator in some laboratories. We said these things just a few years ago when we were starting. Many of us are professors and principal investigators around the world now, everywhere in the world, literally everywhere in the world. Our colleagues, our members are, taking up these roles and doing what they have to do. I want to remind you that there will never be a level you get to and you become too big for the organization. Actually, the higher you go, the more you need the organization. So please pay attention to supporting other people and pay attention to where you come from. Always think about how your work can be applied in solving real problems, especially in your locality. If you come from a particular village or a community, think about what your work can do to enhance the quality of lives of people in that place. Put it in your mind, even if you're not sure how it can happen, just keep thinking about it. Keep thinking about it. Don't stop thinking about it. Someday it's just going to click and something may happen. And you may be able to even get some funding to go do something in the place where you come from. That's very important. And we encourage everyone, please, when you collaborate with people, or when you get to where you're going to, never try to take advantage of anybody else. Anything you are doing with anybody, try to ensure you contribute something. Try to ensure you bring something to the table. Don't say this person is very kind and you just keep taking and taking and taking. Soon you're going to discard yourself by yourself, because it's only when you're invited to projects that you participate, or you're invited to something good, you participate. If you keep taking and taking and you never give, sometime soon you will no longer be invited and you will not know how it will happen. But you just find that you are no longer invited. Please pay attention to that. Look forward to ways. Don't wait to be invited to help. If you have some competency to do something, don't wait for long to be discovered. Discover yourself, present yourself to those who need what you can offer. For example, in the organization, please, if there's anything you know you are able to do, if you are good in designing flyers, or if you are good in video editing, or you are good in some kind of AI, whatever, or anything that's related to advancing the community and making things work, please let us know. We actually have a lot of pending work. We have some design jobs that need to be done, and a lot of people are under pressure because everyone also has things to do. So we hope that people can show up and be willing to contribute, be willing to do something that can help everybody else within the system. Please, we're looking forward to getting messages from you to let us know what you can do. We may not know your capabilities or your potentials. Don't hide, don't wait for us to look for you. Just present yourself. Give some of your 24 hours. Do not consume all your 24 hours every day of your life on yourself. Think about what you can do to drive the community. This, I think, has been the latest. We are ending a webinar, and I must confess, also seeing that people are not going away. People are hanging around. It shows the value that people are getting from it, because no adult gives time to things that don't make sense or things that have no value for them. And I want to let you know, please, whatever you can do, do not finish listening to these things and walk away and say, I'm busy, I'm very busy, I'm very busy. These guys who took out their time to share with us today, they're also busy. Please, we beg you, the form has been circulated every day. We have 61 people here right now. Please, if you have not filled the form for today, make sure you fill the form. Be proactive to do something that shows that you are grateful for what is happening. We're not asking anybody for money. We're just saying, let's do something that can keep us moving forward. In the years ahead anyway, maybe within 1 year, anybody who is hanging around with OAD and contributing, you're going to begin to make money, because we're putting systems in place that will help you. Every single thing you do, you will earn points. Like our brothers who spoke tonight, in the next few years, when you speak this way, and even the one you have spoken now, we're taking note of it. It's going to be converted to points, and those points are going to be converted to money. You can withdraw subsequently based on what you've contributed. And also, if you need something from the organization, you can convert what the points you have to services. Let's say you need somebody to do something for you. Somebody else can take the points you have, do what you have, and the person earns the points that you have. And for those who don't contribute, if they need some things in the future, they will have to pay for it, because it's now overwhelming. It's now becoming too difficult for us to manage all the requests we are getting to be able to cover up all the needs that people have. And we're never going to give up. This is not something we're trying to, whether it will work or not. It's working. People are smiling. People who should have, gone back home, crying and in shame. We just do one small step based on the competency and the bargaining power we have gained over time. And we're able to get them out of trouble. We're able to get them into positions. We're able to help them get things done. This thing cannot be forgotten. It cannot be, we cannot let it just go away. So please, also, we have a WeChat channel. I think it has been circulated again and again. If you are on WeChat, what stops you from following that channel tonight? What stops you? If you don't follow the channel, please, Linda, you can share it again, the link for the WeChat channel, and also the link for the, I know for the Facebook, YouTube, many people, it may be difficult for you, or you may delay because of what they call it, VPN. But if you can, what stops you from following this day before you sleep? Follow the channel, follow what's going on the groups, and see what you can do to contribute and keep benefiting. So, ladies and gentlemen, my neighbors, it's our joy, and on behalf of, our joy to have had interactions with you, on behalf of the Executive Council of the Global Organization of African Academic Doctors, and thousands of colleagues around the world in 5 continents, on behalf of the resident think tank of the Global Organization of African Academic Doctors, on behalf of Africa, with our African Union flag right here. Want to thank you for being part of the conversation today, and looking forward to interacting with you again and again and again and again. And all the best. Congratulations to the leadership of the OMG. Yes. A lot of congratulations to you for the hard work you've done to get this done, and every other person that participated in helping you, supporting to get things done. Kudos to everyone. You're going to earn points soon. And of course, even if you don't, apart from the points, you're already earning a lot of blessings that all the gratitude that people are sharing. You're going to have great things, and I'm wishing you great life in the years ahead. Favor, I sent you some messages inbox, so later on, hopefully you can reply, so we can see what we can do to support other people who are also making further requests in other angles. Thank you so much once again. Respect to you all. Respect, respect, respect. Let's keep firing on. Thank you. Thank you.
So much. Thank you. Okay, so this is the end of day 4 and the entire 2024/2025 OAAD OMG webinar. So please go and explore, go and get the scholarship, go get the funding. It's all waiting for you. Thank you, everyone. So let's take the photo, the group photo today. So I will stop sharing. Please turn on your camera and let's see your beautiful faces. Yeah, beautiful and handsome faces. So keep it coming. Please open your camera. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can see a whole lot of handsome faces. We are the ladies. Show your beautiful faces. Thank you. So please come on, come on, come on. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know it's late, but please, let's just try to get the camera on. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are all doing well. Let's see your beautiful faces. Yeah.
Many faces are sleeping. Many faces are sleeping already.
So sorry. I've been up like since 5 o'clock. So please, so please, it's just something we just have to do. Like today is the last day, so let's have the photo. Let's have those faces. Have the faces. Okay. So I think we already have a good number. I would start. So please, once I start, you don't need to on or off your camera because you will just keep moving, and some persons will not be captured if that happens. So I would say when I start that I have started, so that we just cooperate for some minutes. Okay. So yeah. So I want to start now. Thank you. I want to start. Oh, sister, you can off your camera if you feel you're not well. Yeah. So yeah. So okay. Oh no. Let me allow the sister to be settled. It's okay, you look good. Okay, I'm on the second page.
Hello, please. Yeah, do you see me?
Yes,
yeah, Frimpong.
Please stop talking. Your name is closing the face of someone.
Yeah, I'm from Ghana.
Yes, beautiful or handsome face. Just give us a minute, please.
Okay.
Okay. Just the last one, just the last one. Oh, you don't have to talk. I don't want your name to close someone's face or someone's name, please. Oh, perfect. Oh, now we are free to talk. Okay.
Okay, just before we close, I think Dr. Musa Tada wanted to share some thoughts. If people are still willing, it's a beautiful stuff. I'm sure he's going to share if he's still around. Dr. Tada, are you still around? It's about postdoc and some other experience. Dr. Musa Tada, are you still around?
Musa Tada, let me check. Let me have a quick check.
No, if since he's not responding, possibly let's take it that he's not around.
Yeah, he's not around. He's not on board. So thank you for participating and for your insightful questions. And so our distinguished
Chairman, please don't forget Dr. Jacobs' email contact, please. Let's have them, please.
You know the best thing to do? Join OAAD and you'll be directly
already joined.
You can
okay.
connect.
Okay.
What are you? I don't know. You can connect with him from OAD. Not darling. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. It's so nice seeing everyone. So that comes to an end. I will stop recording so we can have some talk if you want to stay behind for some minutes before I turn off the Zoom. So thank you, everyone.
Sorry, generally, age above 35 is becoming an obstacle for many people, especially those that graduated. Maybe recently, there are a lot of issues. Mr. President is a living witness, isn't it, sir? Because we faced a lot of issues, but at the end, we never gave up and we were able to make it. So even if you are over 35, because usually in China, they put a cap 35 years, or they usually even say below 35. So currently, I have a list of people trying to, contact me. How do I maybe try to conquer this issue? The simple thing is try and reach out to people, different people, like one of the presenters made mention that you need to have collaboration with your supervisor, with your lab mates and other people, and especially from OAAD. So if you do that, this is going to be a very good opportunity for you. So I was able to make it at the end. Sorry, my question to Dr. Favor is, do you have an idea on the age limit requirement for Australian postdoctoral applicants, for example? Do they have that 40 years, 35 years age cuff? If yes,
I don't think
please
so.
let us know so that we can make it happen again, because we are all targeting for the betterment of our communities, as you made mention during your presentation. Because no place is like home, isn't it? So, but we are here struggling around the globe, trying to see how we can connect the dots. I have been going from this town to another, and especially our president, a workaholic president. God bless you, sir, and keep it up. Or I've been to Shanghai many times, but I think we never met, isn't it?
Yeah,
so most of the time when I get to Shanghai, I ask him, "Oh, sorry, I'm in this town. Oh, sorry, I say, "Oh, really?" And I feel so honored. Actually, there was a time he fed us visit here in Hangzhou. So, Mr. Faber, sorry, that is the question. Do they have age limit in Australia also?
From what I know, like I don't know of any age limits. You know, because most of the postgraduates postdoc opportunities in China, even at the advertisement, you probably would have seen the age. They will tell you straight away, right? So I've not seen that. Yeah, and I know of people that are probably doing postdoc that are of age. I think what matters most is your the skill you want to offer.
Exactly,
Yeah,
what you can do.
Yeah, I don't
exactly
think, yeah,
what you can offer.
I can find out more about it, but I don't
Okay.
think Australia does that. Just like the US doesn't really do that.
Okay.
So as
That
long
makes
as you
sense.
have the research experience, you have the what do they call it? You have your skill. I think it's what you want to. Australia generally actually focus more on your skill, even than the book. Do you understand? It's about getting the job done. Can you get this job done for us? That's the major thing.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So let's keep fighting. We will conquer it. We will make it.
For sure.
Thank you very much for our presenters, for the organizers, and all the participants.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Dr. Favor,
Thank you once again.
Can I get a clarification from you, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it has to do with for us coming from Africa to China, and sometimes you might be opportune to be exposed to another chances that are more favorable as compared to the current one you might be having. Looking at, let's say I have a scholarship in China, doing a PhD or a master's program in China under a scholarship. And now it has been opportunity again, you are exposed or you are lucky to have another chance of, let's say, applying to another scholarship situation like in the US or out of China. So in this situation, do you think it is advisable? Being in China, I've been taking so many online webinars, I've been doing research, I've gained so many research knowledge in China, in the lab that I am. So, and in building up your CV for such opportunities, you need to include those skills that you've already gained. You need to include those papers, publication that you've already done. So do you think it is advisable to include these things without completing that particular course? Let's say I'm doing a PhD, I've not completed, but I've gotten 2 to 3 publications. I've gotten more lab knowledge in my current lab. Now I want to switch because of the opportunity that is high here in terms of, let's say, how prestigious the scholarship might be. So I want to switch, but I have not completed this current one. But here I've done publication, I've gained so many lab knowledge skills. Do I need to include those skills into the CV that I'm going to prepare for the next opportunity? Do you think it is advisable?
Yeah, thanks for that good question. That's a smart one. See, personally, to me, I always pray not to find myself in difficult situations like that, sincerely. But most importantly, I also try not to burn bridges. But also, you have sometimes a bit. You have to. Sorry, I've used the word selfish. It might not be the right connotation, but sometimes you have to be selfish about some of your it's your career. It's your. Do you understand? It's your life. So if you have app application with them and you're trying to apply for another stuff, as long as they know that you're currently a PhD, I don't think, yeah, you understand what I mean. Because sometimes when they interview you, they want to know what you're currently doing. They know you already finished your master. Oh, so what are you currently doing? So they know you're probably doing one master's, one PhD before or not. So I don't think it should be an issue if you include some of those papers, some of those publications. You worked for it. It's your own. Just think about it as you building your own portfolio, your own career portfolio. So would you say because it's from the lab where I'm about to leave, then I'm not going to include that research portfolio? And I know someone that was doing PhD there, got another opportunity for master's, actually, not even PhD, in Europe, and moved, but he still completed that PhD. Do you understand? Because they had the opportunity, maybe he had 1 year left. So because they had that cordial relationship, the supervisors knew that this PhD is not that he had in China was not fully funded. So they had that relationship. Do you understand what I mean? So they were able to strike it and they still finished the PhD, even while he was outside, as long as he had the data and everything. So I would say if you have the opportunity to not break that bridge, please try as much as possible not to. But we know that sometimes some PIs can be very stubborn and they would say no and this, and you can know that this opportunity you have is going to really help your career trajectory. And sometimes you have to just do what you need to do, you know. But as much as possible, please don't burn the bridge and don't ignore your efforts. Every effort counts. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it is. It is. Thank you for the response.
Yeah.
Zainab, are you raising your hand? Zainab Abdullahi, do you want to say something? Your hand is raised on the Zoom. Okay. Yeah, Linda, I think the floor is we should be ready for closing and everybody can go to sleep. For those that are in place where they can sleep now.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's quite, yeah, I'm even tired to speak. Yeah, thank you so much. So, yeah, Zainab, what she's saying, your hands, you can speak, you can unmute, or you want me to read for you? I have asked question regarding this issue of reply of, okay, she asked a question.
From professors.
Yeah, that she said.
I think I did.
And there are no reply.
I did reply.
Mr. Fibo,
I did reply her.
Hello?
Yes, Zainab.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Sure, we can.
Okay. My question here is I've been mailing these professors it's been long actually, but nothing yet. There's no reply yet. And I do really research from their research areas. I make sure I go for the right professors, but I don't know what's the problem. Is it the mail address? Is it not? Is it a wrong mail address? I don't know what's the problem. Nothing yet come from it. That's my question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Favor, please, do you want to answer her?
Yeah, I can give some insights. Like, I don't know, like it depends. There are many factors, sincerely. Like, I think in my presentation I said something like, okay, maybe you try to get a PhD offer. If it's not working, there's nothing wrong with you. Because there's that tendency to drown yourself and feel like, oh, you are just useless or this and that. Sometimes when I was doing it took the year, but I was working, right? But I saw people that would say they sent like 100 code emails. I'm like, I don't have time for all these things. How can you send 100 code emails? But when I tried and things were not working, I didn't care about the numbers again. I started sending. I didn't even know how many I sent. Do you understand? But one thing that I think was useful to me is that I did what do they call it? I did an email tracker, a full subscription, so that if I send an email, I track it. So the person is not going to see if I track it or not, but I track it so that when it delivers, I know it has delivered. You checked it, right? I can see how many numbers of times you checked it. So if you are checking it and you didn't reply to me, you are not interested. After 2 or 3 days, I sent a reply. I already crafted the reply No, politely, I sent a reply. You checked it again. You didn't reply me. Then I know you're not interested. I don't bother myself. I don't stress myself. I move to the next one. Personally, that worked for me because it's a lot of psychological stuff. Sending email to a lot of people, and you're not getting reply. You don't know if they saw it. You don't know if something. So to me, I was doing tracking. I tracked all my emails. Do you understand? Even the ones that did not work. So like the current place I have right now, my supervisor is not the first person I sent email to. So it's another lady that I still meet on the corridor. But I knew she checked my stuff. She wasn't interested. So I didn't stress myself. Sometimes it might be because they didn't have funding. It might be because they're already full and they didn't want to make you feel bad. Do you understand? But while you're doing all those things, just make sure you keep improving, you keep working on yourself, keep sending email, keep adding more stuff. Do you understand? So that worked for me personally. So don't think it's something wrong with you. You can get idea from people. You can add more stuff to yours. I got idea from some of my friends on Twitter. Sometimes I will still tweak mine. I'm like, I've been doing this thing for a while, but I have to look at other people's, idea to see if it's gonna work. And I think it's worked actually.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if that makes sense or if it answers the question.
Firstly, we need to realize that the world has over 7 billion people, right? I mean, we are many. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, I'm Jacob. So I log out with my laptop, so I log in with my phone.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, so now in this world, we are billions, more than 6 billion. I don't know the record, right? If you don't need to wait for just one person. I remember when I was applying for my PhD, I can't remember, I know I sent thousands of emails. Then I didn't have much experience, but I'm a kind of person, if I want something, I will follow all legal thing to do, and I will do it unless I achieve it. Eventually, I got 3 different scholarships in 3 different countries. So I came to China because I didn't know anything about China, and I want to know something outside astrophysics. I want to know about the Chinese people. I want to know about China. So I came to China because of that. So I have contacted many people. So you don't need to wait for one person. Tracking. For someone like me, I won't care to track because I won't care if you read or you don't read. So what I will do is that I will target as much as possible that even me, even their response, by the time they start getting responses to me, I won't remember when I contacted them because I've over-contacted. So please don't limit yourself to any human being whatsoever. Enlarge your code. Shoot at different directions and don't stop unless you hit the target. That's just it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think if I would want to add a bit of my experience, what I would say is during the course of my application, for myself, I got admission into how many countries? 4 different continents. Yeah. So what I did was this. I finished from Zhejiang University in China. So in China, I was the only female during my time in the, yeah. So I flow very well with the guys because they see me as their fellow guy. So yeah, we do mathematics and everything because what I did then in China was engineering. So these guys, we come together and we discuss. Like we actually had a round table. We discussed and told ourselves, we want this country, I want this country, I want this country, I don't want this country, I want to apply. So we discussed. So all of us knew like, okay, this person is interested in Japan, US, Canada. So that was how we told ourselves every day we must send 20 emails. That was mad. So if you don't like, we check each other. I will come, I'll say, open your email, let me see. How many did you send today? You did not reach 20. I will yab the person for no. So it was like fun and it was not fun. It was fun in the sense that we just joke about it, yab each other. Oh, you can't reach 20. What is it? Is it to type email that is your problem? And then it's not fun because it was very brain intensive, trying to draft different kind of email, ensuring that you are not sending the same thing to everybody. So, and still writing the MSc thesis and trying to publish in order to get the certificate. So it was crazy. But the good thing was I had a very good team. Like the guys in my set, oh my God. These are people that, just like Dr. Jacob, you want something, you go for it. So they really tried for me. They knock on my door. Linda, how many emails have you sent today? I tell them, okay, I'm in number 10, or you have been doing, we'll check you up later. So that kind of thing. So you need people who will help to check. The check and balance is also good. So that was like a good team that worked for me, because I don't think I would have been able to motivate myself to be doing all of that. Writing thesis, coming up with manuscripts to get my certificate, and ensuring that I send out 20 emails to the continent I had told my friends I am interested in. So it was like I cobalized myself, if I'm to use African English, by telling them what I liked. So just try to motivate yourself. Out of the 20, that does not mean 20 persons replied me. That's the truth now. I've told you the other part. Now the truth is that not 20 of them replied me. So just keep sending. You can't just send 1 or 2 in a week and say, oh, they did not reply me. My sister, there are persons sending 30. Sometimes some of these guys will want to prove to me that they are guys. They'll tell me that I sent 30 today. So yeah, so please keep sending. Okay, this is just an encouragement. Keep sending. Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Please.
Yeah, good morning. So I
Abdul.
want to ask one simple question, though it may sound funny, but I need to ask, particularly to Chiamak. I'm asking directly to you directly. No, by the time you are making sharing your experience now, so I want to ask one simple question. How were you able to manage this kind of your struggling with your marital relationship? Because that was it may look funny, but at least I need to know, because we've been experiencing such issue by people that focus more, particularly the ladies that focus more on their academic career, balancing with their marital life. So please, can you share your experience with us?
This is personal. I don't put my personal life out there. So I will try to be neutral in answering. I don't put my personal life out there. Okay. Yes. When it comes to managing relationship, family, and academic, it's more about I need to be realistic. Let me not speak BB grammar. So it's not easy, number 1. But number 2 is time management. You have, like, let me say you have a fiancé or maybe a husband. It's all about telling the person, this is what is at stake. I want to get a PhD. This is what is at stake. So please, if before we speak 11 hours a day, my dear, please, can we make it 2 hours a day? If possible, so that you don't miss me too much. We speak 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in mid-afternoon, 30 minutes late afternoon, 30 minutes, so as to be sure that 2 hours, so it is well utilized. So that's one of the tricks to go about something like that. So, and it depends on who you are in relationship with. This is not a relationship webinar. So, but if you are with someone who is very understanding, then yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't like putting my personal life on, but I just got married. So I'm married to, my husband is a very understanding person. So if I have tasks to do, I just tell him that I call him, my king, Then I tell him that, see, this, please. Won't be able to talk 10 hours. Even when I'm in the lab, I have you on my earpod. No, it won't happen today. I have this to do. Let's talk like this. Okay, it's no problem. Yes, he just sends message. When he feels he wants to talk or the time we use, he just sends message. Or he will tell me, okay, if you're free, just drop a voice note for me. Something like that. It's still a form. It's just the communication with whoever you're with. I'm not boyfriend and girlfriend level. I'm a married lady. So yeah. But I don't like to put my life out there. But I think I have said too much. Yeah, so that is it. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, more questions, Dr. Umar.
Good morning to the people in China. While from other region, I can say greetings because I don't know the time there. So please, regarding this Zainab issue, we have been working together with her in securing a supervisor. I'm the one that is helping her. I'm currently in China. So I'm the one that is helping her. But the major problem we have been getting is that
you now said
I hear from a lot of people saying that sending like 20 to 30 emails a day. Please, where do they normally use to get those emails? Because from what I observe, a lot of professors or people that used to publish articles or journals from China, they don't include their emails in their publication. Most of them, from what I've been seeing, and some of the universities, they don't put the information about their professors. So please, where are they getting those emails? Secondly, when you send a mail to a professor, in terms of like following up, are you going to send the same email or you rephrase it in another way? That is a second challenge we have been facing. Thirdly, regarding the CSC, we know that in all over China, they have window of September for admitting students. So when is the right time to start scouting for CSC professors that will give you a letter of recommendation to accept you in their lab? Because we have been seeing in some of the groups of Pakistan people, a lot of them, because I know they are like the second citizens here in China. Some of them have started saying that now they have already secured a supervisor. And it's just few days or few weeks ago that they have just admitted new students. So is it the right time to start scouting now or what? Thank you very much.
I would hand over to Mr. Favor and Dr. Jacob to please help in answering. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Just a quick one. I didn't even note the question down, but I will start with the time to apply for to start scouting. I don't think there should be a limit on the time. There will be people that you even meet now that you might not even know that you end up in their lab in the next 2 years. Sometimes you actually connect to people. Sometimes it's not even, you might not get paid the opportunity. You might actually just have a collaboration there. Sometimes some people that end up being a PhD student of someone, they just started maybe, I've got Dr. Jacob mentioned something like that. You've got the research you're working on, even if it's a review. You say, okay, I realize you are an expert in this, and I've written this, this review paper, and I was wondering if you could contribute to it or something. Do you understand? So if you have that relationship, you already built that trust. So when you're applying for stuff, you have pool of people you can reach out to that. You understand what I mean? So I don't think you should have a limit on when to start. Do you understand? You can get a supervisor and you're not applying until the next 1 year. Do you understand what I mean? And for Chinese people, definitely, even for me, for my master's program, like I didn't even have any email. I know sometimes it's hard, but I think they always have like English version of the website where you can get the directory of these people. But most importantly is I think there's one terminology they use in China, which is like trust. Chinese people really, I think they do more of trust. So sometimes recommendation works a lot. If you see someone that's in that department where you've seen your program and you can reach out to an African there or something, or maybe even any of their students, then you can get a chance. For me, I came to for my master's program through recommendation, not really email. Do you understand? But also in their SCI papers, definitely you see their email there because we were publishing papers, we had access to some of this email. Do you get it? So we know that these emails are actually working. If you submit papers, we are submitting paper on behalf of our supervisor. So if you look at their SCI papers, you definitely see some of their recent email because if it's not their recent email, they're not going to use it in their recent publication. Do you get it? But some of them might not reply because they have to reply in English and they don't really understand too much English and so on. So you have to look at those factors. Well, yeah, just exploit all those options. What was the third one? I'm sorry. What's the third question? Sorry.
Yeah, I think asked something concerning sending the Pakistani persons having those already.
Like, oh yeah, I think I already answered that. I think he also mentioned something like, how do people like send 20, 30 emails? Okay, when following up, yeah, no, you don't send, you don't send the same email. Nah, that's like duplication. It's always you've already sent the first email. You understand? So it's more like something like, "Hi, Professor. This I trust my email with you or something. I sent an email some days ago. But I understand how busy schedules might be, and I was wondering if you got it. Hence why I'm sending a follow-up message. Do you understand? You acknowledge that you understand the tight schedule and this and that, and that's why you're sending a follow-up just in case you missed the email. I'm most what?
Sorry, I mean a time frame, maybe like after how many weeks should I follow up or something? Is there please a time frame you can advise me on?
It depends on you. For me, I think most of the time for me, I just do 3 days. Like personally for me, do you understand? I sent something during the week, maybe on Monday. By Thursday, I already sent it like follow-up. It can be 3 days for you, it can be a week. My current supervisor, when I sent him my email, that's actually the first time I wouldn't really, it's not a recommendation. He didn't reply. Do you understand? And I already gave up. I think that day I just saw one video that gingered him, that was like, don't give up, this and this and that. I just went back to the email and then sent a reply. I think 1 week after. That was when he then replied. It was like, I'm so sorry for not replying you. It's been this and this. I read your stuff with you. But imagine I didn't send the follow-up. They gone, like they say in my country. Do you understand? So sending a follow-up is quite like, it's very, very, very important. Very, very important. For me, I also, they say when you want to send email, you should read the person's paper and then include the paper and this and that and that. I used to do that, but at some point I got tired because how many papers do I want to read? I'm not saying you shouldn't do this, but at some point I just look at those, that is something I want to do. This is something in my line. I already have a draft of what I've done. So I scan through one of the paper, maybe 5 minutes or whatever, because I can't read all. I'm sending 100 emails. I can't read all the papers, so I just make sure that I'm sincere with what I'm writing. I don't have to include too much of the person's paper in my email. Like, do you understand what I mean? Personally, because if I'm sending multiple emails, how many papers do I want to read in a day to send? So personally, that's just my own personal story. I don't know if Dr. Jacob has that.
Okay. Your hands are up. You can unmute.
Hi. Actually, I wanted to ask Dr. Jacob a question. I'm the one who asked the question about adding your OAAD ID. You know, actually, when you publish a lot of papers, some journals reach out to you to review review some articles for them. So I review for most of the Elsevier journals. And if a paper is accepted for my review, they actually like update my OAAD ID.
You never came to tell.
And so with that, I wanted to ask if I can also, you know, download that OAAD ID file to add to my publication, because when you look at the OAAD ID website, it shows that you can download this file and then use it to apply for funding. And secondly, to one thing is that I've been also applying for a lot of postdoc positions outside China, that is in Europe and like outside China, Australia and others, but it's very difficult and I've been getting rejection. So I want to know what actually I'm doing wrong, that because when I apply, I don't also add my PhD certificate because I'm not finished yet. And moreover, I also I just add my attestation letter and this letter from the school. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong to actually for me to be getting a lot of rejections. So if you can help me out on that. Thank you.
Dr. Jacob, please, can you help us with the answer? Oh, I think it's really
Is it on?
very late, actually. This is past 1.
Yeah.
Please, can you just you could send your message to either myself, Dr. Odi, Dr. Stephanie, Mr. Gideon. Just send us your message. We can help you get the answer from Dr. Jacob.
Okay.
Really late.
Okay.
And I had
Okay.
him say he needs to prepare for church. Even myself,
Okay.
lost. I have lost my voice like how many times?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. I will be turning off the Zoom. It's been a great time having you all. Mr. Favor, I can't thank you enough. We are grateful.
Thanks,
Yes.
Bob.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Great night rest. Have a great day.